We got the main man in the house tonight. Yes. No, it's hot still.
I turned it down to 66.
Fuck, man. Some bullshit. Some fucking bullshit.
You know what's gonna cool us down?
What?
A little bit of this.
That shit not gonna cool me down. That shit gonna heat me up.
Oh, too hot.
Too hot. We up or what? What we doing?
We up.
Oh, we was here?
Yeah, that's why.
Oh,
Lord. Restart.
See that? You can't restart. Let's restart.
3, 2, 1.
Golden State Warriors. This is my 2-minute drill for the day. I'm gonna start this thing off every week with a 2-minute drill. Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry. Draymond Green and the boys.
Klay Thompson.
It is not the fans, okay? It is not the fans. The Boston Celtics have not had a home playoff game since 2010. You understand me? You don't think you was coming into a hostile environment, son? You don't think that you was coming into an environment where they was gonna call you everything under the sun? You don't think you was coming into an environment with smart after saying, we're gonna fight fire with fire? You know what that means? When you come through that lane, I'm gonna hit you with that chicken wing, baby. When you on that ground, you try to step on me, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna push you up off of me, baby. Like, I don't understand what all the hoopla is now with the fans and fucking win, okay? Let's not get beat by 16. Let's control the pick and roll. Let's rebound a little bit better. Let's not turn the motherfucking ball over every second. Hey, let me tell you something. Steph Curry has nothing to hang his damn head about. Well, third quarter was Steph time. He tried to single-handedly keep him in the game. You understand me? And so listen, again, it is not the fans of the Boston Celtics. It is your play. Hoo, hoo, hoo. We in the building, man. Where your dogs at? We here. Listen, we got a special guest with us today. We got a special guest. You used to see him on JC show. Lizzo.
It's time to be a dog.
You in the kennel, baby.
Let me out.
In the kennel. We got a jam pack today for you, baby. Hey, we're gonna take a short break. Coming back, we're gonna run into it and dismantle the 3-headed race that's going on with these Tigers for the starting position. On where my dog's at. I told y'all it was hot, dog.
It's still hot.
It's hot, dog.
Oh, we just ate hot wings.
Back at it like Craftmatic.
Like a crack addict.
Hey, I hope not. You know, crack, that was that was a late drug. Now, nobody do no crack no more, Lizzo.
You ever seen a crack addict work though?
Hell
Tireless.
yeah.
Tireless.
Hey.
Ain't nobody work harder.
I take and watch my car all the time.
That thing's spotless.
Woo!
But it's missing 20 out the gauge.
Hey. Listen, don't leave anything around now.
No, they'll take the grill.
That's a whole different ball game, baby. I mean, I don't give a damn if it's a quarter. You know, don't leave nothing in that son bitch.
Get a team.
So, quarterbacks, QBs, signal callers, however you want to put it, the guys that make the engine go, right? Those guys. So for LSU, we have 3 of them, right? 3 signal callers right now that are vying for that position of the top dog.
Oh.
We got Daniels, Miles Brennan, right? Who's my other guy? Nussmeier, which to me is the wild card, honestly, Nussmeier. And so, in order for you to understand what the coaches are looking at to select who this guy's gonna be, you have to understand who the coaches are and what they're looking for. So in Coach Denbrock and also BK, Coach Kelly, the quarterbacks that they've had have all been guys that were dual threats. The quarterback that they fancy, the quarterbacks that have played mostly in their system, have been guys that could get on the edge, that could tuck the ball and get you 3-4 yards. Basically guys that can move the chain when nothing's available, right?
Absolutely.
We have a couple of those guys here.
And there's an odd man out.
There's an odd man out. So let's start with the transfer from Arizona State.
Jaden Daniels.
JT Daniels. Let's start with him. First off, JT Daniels, 3-year starter at Arizona State, right? You have to ask yourself, I ask myself, why does a 3-year starter transfer, right? Why do you transfer out of familiarity? Why do you transfer from where you are? A couple things about Daniels. The one thing, allegedly, that would also force your hand to transferring is if your mother was caught up in allegations that you were helping other recruits and families come on visits and paying for certain things.
Well, they got caught up in the Herm Edwards scandal. Arizona State had a lot going on, but they came a long way from, I don't talk about no Devils now, when he didn't know the mascot for Arizona State, to now he's like, oh, I get the college game real quick.
Right.
And he got caught up cheating, and that's kind of how you saw the talent fell off at Arizona State.
That's exactly right. And it's so funny because you just bring me into another segue is Daniels had his most productive year his freshman year, right? And there's a couple things I know about when you first get on the scene and you don't have any film. No one knows you, so nothing to see. They're looking at your high school film. Everyone's surprised at you. Not a surprise. Very surprised to me that was his best year out of 3 years. I expected the final year to be that. But contributing factors, as we was talking about before, had a host of talent leave after his freshman season, host of receivers skill position leave. So now he was dealing with a freshman crop of receivers his second and also his third year. So he declined. His even though his percentage didn't go down as far as completion percentage going into his second year, but his yardage dropped and also his touchdown to interception ratio.
Yeah, his yards per attempt went down.
It fell.
N'Keal Harry from Arizona State?
Yep.
Your guy, Bill,
Yep.
drafted him, so he obviously saw something in him, and he went, first-round pick for N'Keal Harry,
Yep.
and then you see it.
N'Keal Harry and Brandon Ayuk.
Yep.
And Brandon Ayuk is a
Baller.
stud.
Right.
Both were good. N'Keal Harry hasn't been as good, but Brandon Ayuk is an absolute dog.
So now what you see from his going into his third year, he had damn near 900 yards rushing. We're talking
team on
about
my
Daniels. And passing yard, everything in the passing game declined, but he damn near had 900-yard rushing. So the dual threat from him is there. It's definitely there. I think that, the fact that he came in the portal and also said he wasn't going to go in the portal, then in February entered the portal after he told Arizona State he was there, also contributing factors. The fact that he is a dual threat. the fact that he has the arm talent and he has started 3 games as a college starter, I think gives him an advantage over Nussmeier in that regard.
Because Nussmeier has what, 1 game under his belt as a
mean,
quote-unquote starter. He had
correct, and you saw him in about 4 games last year where he got some snaps. But
you saw him play 1 significant game
correct.
wherever Max Johnson played 1 series, and then you brought in Nussmeier, and it was hair on fire playing. You saw the athletic ability, you saw the skill, but you saw no game plan. I think that's more coaching than it was on Nussmeier.
Well, I think so too. I think that was also them wanting to see, hey, what he's going to do in these situations, and just letting him go instead of curtailing the offense to fit what he's going to say. So that's my take on. And the other thing about when you talk about Denbrock and you talk about Coach Kelly, the other prerequisite and other thing that these guys are very, very keen on, and as a quarterback you have to have it, is you have to be accurate. And I think that's the one area where when we talk about Daniels, especially his downfield accuracy, has to improve greatly. Now, that comes with knowing the guys and so on and so forth and building that rapport with the receivers. But that's something for me watching his film and that's something that he has not fixed from freshman to date by watching the spring game and watching the spring practice. So I know his accuracy is something that, it doesn't matter how much you can run around and how much you can break the pocket. If you can break the pocket, you can't let it go, and they can't come close to these guys and they can't complete the football. It makes no sense. So I know that is going to be an emphasis for him right now as it was in the spring, and also emphasis going into the fall. But that is where he has to improve to close the gap to get closer to taking over that position.
And you talk about mobility a little bit. Don't you think that's almost a prerequisite because of how, I don't want to say bad the offensive line was, but because of how much they really struggled to protect last year when you saw Max Johnson back there, who can move a little bit, but if you put a Jaden Daniels back there, it kind of offsets some of the woes that you have on the offensive line. When you look at it now, they brought in new guys, but you're going to have freshmen all over the field on the offensive line. You're going to have somebody that helps you not have to protect as much, not bring in a tight end to have to block off the edge, like kind of keep it more spread like they wanted to do. Jaden Daniels fits that mold a little bit as opposed to a Miles Brennan.
Well, I think any time where you could have a guy like himself was regarded as a number 1 dual threat quarterback, and the way, not just us, but just the way football in general is going, where you have guys now that are 4.5, 4.4 40s at the linebacker position, 4.4, 4.5 coming off the edge. So anytime that you can have a guy like himself could escape, pull the ball down, and take off with your feet and use your feet. Anytime that's a part of your repertoire, and now the defense has to. You have to recognize that, and you have to honor that, because now this guy could kill you with his legs. And so now, and it's been the turning for a minute to where now the quarterback position is not drop back and throw the football. We're not just going to beat you with our head and our arms. We're going to beat you with our feet now, because we're the one position that nobody accounted for. You account for it now.
Right, you got to guard 11 now.
Oh, you got to guard everybody, baby. You can't just let me sit out there and shoot them threes, baby.
Right, and you saw, even in the spring game, I know it was like first touch and you're down, but you saw Jaden break one, and he was going 80. Like, if it was tackle, he was gone. It didn't matter. He's got that extra gear.
He got that, what you call that home run, that home run ability. And even if it's not the home run, he has the ability to flip the field. And by flipping the field, all I mean is picking up first downs. You coming out your own end, and a guy picks up 3 yards with his foot, then picks up another 4 yards. Now you get a little dink for a first down, and now you're across the 25 as opposed to punting out of your own 12 end zone. That's flipping the field, and that it doesn't show up early in the box scores. It doesn't show up as anything big, but at the end of the game, that is a huge advantage for you to have a guy that you can do that with the feet. And we saw it a bunch with Max Johnson. And I'm not comparing. Jaden's definitely more athletic than Max was, but Max was an athletic guy, and you saw it at times with his legs. You saw it the 2019 season with Joe, just critical times, just picking up those first downs. And that's something that if he has in his repertoire that only Nussmeier has. Miles does not bring that aspect of it to the table, and we're gonna go ahead and get into Miles Brennan next. So that's where I think Jaden has a same opportunity as Miles, and I think those two are the guys that are leading the race for the quarterback position. I think he has the same, bringing the same to the table, and you just take off the fact that he's a lot more athletic and a lot more mobile.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what I think the difference is because you looked at we talked about this a little bit before the show, the quarterbacks that Denbrock has coached before,
yeah.
and what Brian Kelly has used in his scheme at Notre Dame, you would think it would be the opposite. But everybody he's used has a mobile component to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want to – this is a dicey subject because I know that LSU has done this before, and you've almost been a part of it. Where they do dual I know nobody likes it, but even if you don't use it often, it gives something for the defense to have to prepare for when you got Jane Daniels over there and just lurking on the sideline, show him 1 or 2 times. And it you may burn a possession, but for them to have to prepare every game for, all right, Jaden's in the game, and he's not just run first. He can fling it.
Right, he can throw a football.
But that's if you want to bring Miles Brennan into the conversation, that's the way you can do it.
Going into this season, honestly, we've all talked about getting kids out the portal, bringing in a whole new staff. This is basically I wouldn't say a mulligan year, but a year where
I'm tired of hearing mulligan years.
No, it's not. I'm not giving it that. You know, I don't believe in that shit.
Yeah.
But it's one of those years where you gotta fastly get this moldless clay together, and you gotta put that product out on the field that's competitive. And you see all the different places that Coach Kelly, Denbrock, these guys are pulling from to try to get this established. So let me tell you something. It's going to take a lot of work, man, by these young men now going into the fall to gel, and I'm mostly speaking offensively, to get this new system down, to understand one another, to find out who the dogs are, who the playmakers, like I heard Coach say, who they're going to lean on. I mean, we know John Emery's going to be one of them. You know?
Well, yeah, because he doesn't have a choice. This is his time to shine.
He don't have a damn choice.
He missed the year for no reason. You've seen the flashes.
He has no
choice.
But
if he wants to be a bell cow back and get drafted in the first, second, third round, this offense is his, and that's what makes me wonder if they're gonna. If you're gonna lean on that, then that would be almost a Miles Brennan scenario where you trust the running game more, go play action, and let him sling it.
Well, you know, that's the one thing with Coach Kelly's offense that they've always been critical about. So it'll be interesting about the play action passing. That's one thing that they haven't done a bunch of before, especially play action and then getting to that, hitting that third level. So we'll see with, you know, the receivers that we have, if the run game, and not necessarily say the run game gets going like we rushing and, you know, 6 yards a pop, but just where it's sustainable, where it's respectable, and you getting your pops. So now you have to honor that, and now you can get those things over the top and try to attack that third level of that defense in that secondary. And I think that, you know, that's, and I get back to Jaden Daniels on improving in those areas, because those are some of the areas I've seen guys running wide open and he just misses them, or it's underthrown, or it's overthrown, it's out of bounds even. So I just want to see him improve in that, because when those times come to hit those critical plays, especially in a season where everything's up in the air, and in a season where you really don't know how it's going to be based on the newness of everything that's going on, those plays are going to be critical, Lizzo.
And this is where Brian Kelly kind of, I don't know if he backed himself into a corner, but we all put so much emphasis on the spring game, and at the end of it, you saw people.
But you
saw Nussmeier play well, you saw Brennan play well. You saw some flashes from Jaden Daniels, but he said it seems like all we did was kind of confuse the picture more than make it clearer, because everybody kind of played okay, and so nobody really stood out. But he made himself. It almost made the job harder on him because there was no clear-cut winner.
Well, let me say this, and then we're gonna go into Miles Brennan. You got to watch who's taking what reps.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Nussmeier ain't take much reps with the ones and twos. If you go to practices, Nussmeier, he took some, but not as much as the other two guys. You know what I mean? And that may not mean nothing, but to me it does. And now also, this is the other thing. Going into fall, right? Going into fall, they're going to have to cut those guys' reps down. All three of them can't get reps. You're getting ready to play a football game. So that's gonna show itself early in camp. There's no way they could go through the whole fall, have 3 quarterbacks getting prepared to play a football game. That's if you got 3, you got none.
Well, and you've been in that position before, and
it's hard with 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, because you've been in a 2 quarterback race. I
Hell
couldn't imagine
yeah, it's
3.
hard with 2.
But Matt, like when you're in that position, do you feel yourself whenever like the pressure almost?
And I'll be real with you, nobody gets prepared fully. Honestly,
right.
When I was in that situation, because it was so much back and forth, so much bouncing, because
you can't get in a rhythm.
Well, you don't really know what the hell the clear plan is. You know what I mean? Like, you trying to prepare this guy, now you're trying to prepare this guy as well. It just doesn't work. It even confuses the offense, because they're thinking, okay, when Rose in, this is the type of plays. When Josh is in, this type of plays. Same thing with these guys. When Daniels is, this type of. And I don't know if that's how the mantra or however they go, but there are certain things that they do. You're not going to call the same plays for Miles Brennan as you are for Nussmeier or for Daniels. You're not going to have Miles doggone rolling the pocket and doing all these athletic things and calling the same thing for these guys. It's just not. If they did that, it'd be stupid.
Yeah, you can try to do the RPO, but it's not gonna hit the same with Miles in the backfield because he's not taking off.
100%.
You don't have to keep that defense in to watch. I'm crashing every time.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Because he ain't gonna run out of sight in a year. So it's no need for you to, you know what I mean, even paying attention to that. So it's gonna be different.
He can't run on the dot.
And he brings, and this is why I said, like, he brings things to the table though. And now we're gonna get into Miles. What Miles brings to the table is some of the things that these guys clearly and it's experience. And and listen, I'm a guy that knows all about experience, because every time I went somewhere to train or do anything to work out, all they told me was you don't got enough experience. So I totally understand having experience which is a plus for Miles. Miles had one of the best starts in LSU history for a quarterback in the first 3 games.
And that gets lost.
And it should not. Before he got injured, Miles was slinging that thing all over the place. And I don't care if it was against Middle Tennessee. I don't care. Miles was throwing the ball all over the place, and he was feeling good. He was in great rhythm. And I think, honestly, going into this competition here, I think even with him being not as mobile as the rest of them, I think the fact that how he started, I think the fact that they went and pulled him out of the portal and brought him back, I think says a lot to what they talked about, what his position was. Now, you got to understand this. This was before Daniels, right? This was before Daniels' transfer. Miles was coming back before him. So Miles was the first one that BK went out and said, listen, da-da-da-da-da-da. Whatever the sob story, he told him a lie. He told him to come back. That's right. You're going to be my guy. You
get first right of refusal.
Right. So, and what Miles Brennan brings to the table, he's smart. He's experienced. He knows the SEC play. He knows what it takes week in and week out to play in the SEC, because he's been a part of it. He's been a part of a championship team. He's had the privilege of sitting behind the great Joe Burrow and understanding what it takes, how to motivate, so on and so forth. Those other two guys can't say that. They can't bring that to the table. He's accurate. He has a strong arm, could throw it all over the field. He's an accurate, confident quarterback. Now we got to keep his ass off of boats.
And off the dock.
And off of docks and all that.
Stop wearing flip-flops.
What else did he do to hurt him? Oh, he got hurt in the game. Yeah, stop running.
He had an injury that they never saw before, though. Like,
the Miles Brennan injury.
How do you get hurt with an injury that nobody has ever seen?
He played through that thing, though.
All these years of football.
All these years, and you get an injury that nobody, not a single
not a doctor in the world
has ever seen. Like,
what
how?
was his injury?
Just his luck. It was like an abdominal. Was it something?
It was an abdominal tear.
Yeah, abdominal
that went down
tear.
to his hip, and they didn't know how to fix it. It was either surgery, which they would have named the Miles Brennan surgery, or rest and rehab. And he was like, I don't want to do surgery. I'll just do rest and rehab. and he healed it all the way. Then you see the arm scar.
Yeah.
If you've seen the picture of him working
Yeah, I
out,
saw that.
and it's his left arm. Is what he said in the caption. He's like, "Thank God it was my left arm."
You know, the other thing with Miles is
He's tough as hell.
I was just about to say, Miles tough as, and Miles anticipates well. Miles anticipates well when he's, and I'm gonna tell you, Miles throws a good deep ball. That's the other thing. Miles throws a good deep ball, and for you to be in this offense, and this is the thing, you know, we talk about him he's not as mobile as the other two guys, nowhere near, right?
Right. It's a different style of offense.
It's a different style, but I think Miles has enough to get on the edge. Right? You think he has?
As SEC coach, I mean, he may be able to get on the edge. I mean, you got to put Florida State first game of the year. You know how those Florida boys roll.
You got to understand. No, listen, he's not going to get on the edge against them. No.
Well, the SEC ain't much different.
Yeah, you're right. He's not going to get on the edge.
He ain't going to get on the edge ever. If you see him running, you in trouble.
He's going to be doing a lot of... when I say get on the edge, I don't mean get on the edge and get yards. I mean like
get
roll
outside
out.
The pocket?
No, like move the pocket.
He can do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Move the pocket with protection. I'm not just talking about him running aimlessly out there trying to shake motherfuckers now. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, hinge backside, roll the pocket, just so we create that movement to move the safeties. So that's what I'm talking about. And I think Miles could do that.
Yeah.
Miles could do that. He could play in the Listen, if Tom could do it, Miles could do it. Okay? Now I know Tom might have better line in front of him. But I'm talking about as far as movement, can run.
Like Peyton, yeah, they all are able to boot. Yeah, all are able to boot and get outside the pocket and set up again.
That's what I'm talking about. Miles, listen, let me tell you something. That was a perfect example. Peyton. Fucking Peyton could do it. Miles can do it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're there with, if Peyton could do it, Miles could do it.
But it's just, that's when you come back to what style of offense Denbrock likes to run. And those are two contrasting styles of when you look at...
Well, those are two different players.
Exactly. So they have to make... This comes back to what you were saying, where you're trying to split it up between three different personnel.
That shit don't work, dog.
Right, because you have to tailor your offense around your quarterback.
That shit don't work, dog.
So they have to make a decision.
That's why, not to get off track, but that's why this shit that's going on with Lamar Jackson don't make sense. You understand me? With the Baltimore Ravens. All this bullshit they don't want... Like, listen... Who else could go in there and run that offense? That offense is tailored. It's been tailored for the last 3 years for Lamar Jackson.
Even when he wasn't the starter, the offense was tailored to him.
That shit is tailored for Lamar Jackson, dude. Like, there's nobody else. And look what he's done in that shit. MVP of the league, Pro Bowl every year. Like, he tearing that shit apart. NFL don't even know how to play Lamar Jackson in that offense. And these people playing games with him about his money. Man, if they don't get that man his money, like, who else is going to go down there and run that offense?
Especially if you think about the change that they'd have to make if they get rid of him. You have to reset.
That's my point.
And
that's my entire point.
And that's why, if to bring it back to LSU, that's why it almost makes like Nussmeier makes the most sense, because you'll have him for 2 years. You don't have to worry about changing anything because you can continue rolling in the new system. If you do Miles Brennan for 6 games out the year and they're like, wait, we have to make a switch. We're going to the installs 101 all over again.
He does, man. Nussmeier make all the sense. Then it make the sense. See, the problem, and I'm going to tell you, man, these coaches be thinking crazy, dog. So I don't want to throw all this shit in the air. But you can, listen, you can also be thinking like this, Liz. Like, I got these two. Like I said, who knows what the hell they done told these two guys? I don't know what they told Miles and Jaden. But they told him something. That you know for a fact, Jack. So now you got Nussmeier, which I'm with you, is the wild card. But now these people thinking, because you can't redshirt Nussmeier.
No,
right?
Well, he already redshirted.
That's what I'm saying. You can't redshirt.
And that goes back to the previous regime, wherever they picked and choose when to play him, and then you can't burn him in the bowl game to see what he actually can do with you. But understand why they didn't play him, because there was nobody to throw the ball to. There wasn't an offense to put out there.
So now, coming into this year, you done talked to these two guys, got both of them out the portal actually to come back. Don't know what you told them. Got Nussmeier, which if they let it play out, and really, I truly believe this, if they let this play out and they put as much emphasis on Nussmeier as they are the first two, I truly believe that kid will win the job. Now, he's harder to coach, right? He's harder to coach. He's a wild gun. That arm is live at all time. He's a gunslinger. He's a runaround jitterbug. Like I called him a calm down version of Johnny Manziel when he was in college. Very confident player. You saw that by the dart he threw in the back corner of the end zone that went through a car wash and ain't get wet at all. Right? Dude. So if they give him an opportunity, as they're giving the same too, which that's not happening. From my eyes, that's not happening. And it can't happen. You got 3 quarterbacks. You got 3 quarterbacks that you're trying to give reps to. No one's going to get that. So that's why I say I look at the little things. You clearly see who they're either trying to push or trying to make the competition about. Nussmeier, by him coming out and playing well, all he going to do is fuck up the game.
Well, I think that's already happened. They've already had the discussion where it seemed it was going to be Miles Brennan or Jaden Daniels, and it was Miles Brennan's job. I mean, I think that's what they told him. It's your job to win, Miles. And then Nussmeier,
those guys are safe.
But until they aren't, because if you make Nussmeier the starter, one of those two or two of them are both hitting the portal.
And that's the other
And now you're stuck with a freshman backup that you don't want to see the field at all, and Walker Howard.
And so it makes sense. That's what I'm telling you. It makes sense for you to have those 2 guys as the guys that's leading your charge, and then have Nuss competing because he's young. But the other thing you know about Nuss is, man, he's a coach's son.
And that's where people
what I mean?
Yeah, they had this opinion of him of gunslinger, like you said. He said that's not actually the way I want to play.
Right.
He said I've been taught by my dad, who's the Cowboys quarterbacks coach.
But that's why I said he's a tougher coach right now, because he's the type of guy where you don't want to pull him back, right? Let me rephrase that. You don't want to pull him back all the way, right? You want to put some restraints on him based on the calls you make. But in some calls, you're just going to have to let him go, baby. You're going to let him go because he's going to make a play. It's going to be one of the things where you're like, no, yes. Oh, yes, Ness. Good job, baby. You know what I'm saying? So it's that type of thing. And that's now when we transition from Miles, which is a standstill, accurate passer, strong arm, understands the SEC, understands what it takes to win, understand what it takes to lead a team in SEC play and to a national championship because he was part of that. So those are the things that he brings to the table. Those are the advantages I think that Miles had. And one of his biggest advantages is his experience and his accuracy. He's a very accurate quarterback that could throw the ball all over the field. And we all know what, his hindrances are. And those are not as mobile as the other 2. Doesn't have that just, he doesn't have that confidence as the other 2 to get outside and use it. So everything inside. And the other thing with Miles is that you have to watch with him is when things aren't just perfect, feet get happy, baby.
The best example is Mississippi State in the first game.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been a worse look because you're coming off the Joe Burrow year when he won a Heisman, best quarterback probably in LSU history, no offense. And then he's been able.
Taken, buddy.
Yeah, but you called it. You said he's coming for all the records. He's gonna get them all.
That's my guy.
And then you see Miles Brennan insert, and he got the was the opposite of what Joe Burrow looked like in his last year at LSU. But after that game, he settled in and was able to throw for 400 yards a game, be able to be that player from the pocket where he probably watched the film like, what am I doing?
Right.
And so for him to be able to bounce back like that shows he's got a little bit of toughness up here, and you know he's got it in the body because he stuck out that entire Missouri game after ripping his body apart. But
that boy like he was going through a damn roller derby.
He was
of cars,
and you could see when he got hurt, he tried to stay in bounds and take a lick, and they rocked him. And I mean, I appreciate him trying to do that, but brother, you got to know that it's a 10-game season.
You're the only one out
12-game season. You're the only one we got, and he tried to stick it out, but that season was cooked from the beginning. It didn't matter.
Oh, that season was half baked, man. That season was all toe up,
burnt.
Man. Burnt. For real.
Burn the damn ribs.
So,
Turn the oven off.
So we think Miles got a shot, dog. Miles got a shot. And you know what, dog? I'm rooting for Miles, dog. All that bullshit Miles done been through. I mean, he went through that bullshit. He got killed by the boat. And came back from that. He got killed in the game.
Came back from
that. And now hit the portal. BK went and threw him that lifeline, reeled his ass back in.
Reeled him off the dock.
Do anybody know where he was going?
He's going fishing. He's trying to. Limited out on himself.
You hit the limit quick.
Yeah.
Quick.
Imagine being there with Miles. You're like, oh, shit, Miles done hit. Yep. Because ain't no way he lands soft ever.
No, hell no. He
Coach,
need to go to a damn.
Miles just broke his arm.
Yeah, well, did you hear the story where he didn't tell his dad? He stayed home and slept on it. Slept through his broken humerus. And that also speaks to his toughness a little bit, but he was so scared.
Toughness and, scared. He was stupidity, man.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Like, dog,
that shit
you
happens.
getting ready. When he was getting ready to go play. You understand? Like, what are you doing? Johnson was in the indoor throwing, baby. He up there on the boat doing backflips with the oar in his hand. What the fuck are you doing?
Tackle box in one hand, fishing poles in the other.
So, listen, Nussmeier now, he remind me of old Brett Favre. He remind me of Brett Favre, dog. I ain't gonna lie. I was privy to see Brett Favre play a couple times against us, and I was in New England. And I mean, just confidence in this kid is just oozing out of every pore in his body, dude. I watch him during warm-up or the spring game, and he can't stay still. You know what I mean? And the thing about it, he understands the game so well. You can see what the throws, even when he makes the jump throws, or even those things, which if I may say, hey, he has a jump throw that rivals Patrick Mahomes now.
He's got a little bit of that in the game.
He got a little bit of that Mahomes in him, baby.
Because he's got the arm.
He's got the arm. He has the arm. He's an exciting player, man. And see, he's my wild card. To me, he's my wild card because, and I don't mean this, but man, get the Daniels and the Miles up out of here. You understand me? Because for me, all it does is slows down his progression. I understand that we need one of them as a backup. Now, I ain't telling both of y'all to leave. We need one of them as a backup because I don't want to see my man get thrown in that fire as a freshman, right? So we need one of them to stay on. But if we talking about the progression of LSU football and the position, you want Nuss to play this year. You want to see what you have in Nussmeier right now this year. And you want to see it in games that are meaningful. You want to see it in games that are SEC play. You don't want to see him just in the first game. Yeah, we want to see him against Florida State, but you want to see him in the meat of the order. You know what I mean? You want to see him playing against the Bombers. You want to see, especially if he could hold up, and that's the other thing with it. Can you hold up during the season with that frame and with that style of play? You know, he's going to have to understand when to get down. Like we talk about, know that you're the one that's left. You know what I mean? We don't have nothing behind you, even if we do understand. And that's hard for a young quarterback, Liz. That's hard for a young quarterback to understand and to put all that on his shoulder. But the thing that just gives me confidence is one, because of his confidence in himself, but also the fact that, you know, it's a little bit different, and I've seen it so much throughout my career and just being with guys. When you come from that pedigree where you in the house all the time and you constantly around ball and your dad's, you come from
watching film on the
pedigree,
refrigerator.
That's what I'm saying. Like all that shit, it's a whole different awareness you have, you know, and he has that. And I just think that if he learns to make the routine plays, not the wow plays, because I think he's going to give us enough of the wow plays. Just make the routine reads. Take your hitches. Take your corners. Take your digs when they come available. Take your dump downs. Take your backs. Stick to the things that move the sticks. then the wild plays that he's going to provide for us and in that stadium, that's going to come in fashions where you're not taking huge risks. That's going to come in the confines of the game. And the game plan is just not you throwing it up there or just doing the wild thing, because you're going to do the things that get me to 3 yards on second down that now makes it 3rd and 4. You're not going to do and run around and take the sack that now it's 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 13. That's where you want him to be. You want him in that happy place where instead of it being a disaster, it's manageable. That's where but that's hard for a young quarterback.
Well, especially because if you get into that 3rd and 15, that's when he starts trying to make the play. Whenever you try to force it down the field, you try to do something. That's how you get turnovers. Especially the way that he plays the game. Like, he's going to get into those situations where it's 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, and he's like, I know what to do. I'm gonna start running around the pocket. I'm trying to make a play.
Well, he's going to go back to what's comfortable for him.
Right, which is take a shot.
And
because he knows he wants to. As a quarterback, you know what's the most important thing. Move the sticks, but if I start getting behind the sticks, all right, I got to take a shot. I got to change the game.
And what it does is now you go to what you're comfortable with, and for him, that's his legs. He knows he has the ability to evade. So now you go to that. So now it's that mentality, but you're in college. And so those D linemen and linebackers that you're usually faster than, now it's a different angle, because now you got guys like 45 on the other side or 40 that's coming to get you. And they're running 4.4s and 4.5s. It's not high school. So that's where you have to understand that, okay, it's second down and 8. Let me take this loss. Even if it's a sack, it's not a pick. It's not a fumble. I still retain possession of the ball. So it's those little things that seem minuscule but could fucking destroy a football game. That's where he has to get to, for me.
Yeah, because if you can keep it 3rd and 8 as opposed to 3rd and 14, or 2nd and 8 and then 3rd and 14, or learn how to throw it away or learn how to read hot, and then you're like, all right, we got 2 yards, but we didn't lose 10.
That's the other thing. That's a great point you bring up. That's the other thing. You got to be able to get that shit out your hand. You got to be able to get out your hand. You got to be able to that's the other thing. Recognize where it's coming from.
And that's where quarterback coach comes in.
That's exactly right.
That's where
that's why I say he's the hardest coach this year. I'm not talking about Walker. I'm not even putting Walker in the equation for this year. Hopefully he's not even on the field. I'm just talking about here. That's the next step for Nuss, understanding, and I'm sure he's already versed in this. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that you're a freshman. You're not used to seeing all these different changes, all these different ways that they're coming from. So now you have to zone, and that's where the coach is the most important thing the coach is the most important play in this whole thing with these guys, because one is new offenses, then guys are younger, guys are coming from different systems, coming from different everywhere. So the one that's the other fact that's going to come into this, whoever picks this shit up the fastest, whoever picks this up
to even playing field.
Yeah, 100%.
Even playing field, because you talk about Miles Brennan having experience. He's had, 4 different coordinators in 4 years?
Yeah, but that helps him also.
Yeah, because that's just different terminology at that point. I've seen it all. Yeah. To bring back the Joe Brady one. That one worked. That one seemed to work.
Yeah, you adapt, man. You adapt to it. And Nussmeier, by him coming, his dad being a coach and coming from that pedigree and that background, this is also something that he should be comfortable with. I know he's young, but learning different terminology, concepts are basically the same.
It's just different verbiage.
Curl flat is curl flat. Goals is goals. You know what I mean? It's just different terminology. So that type of thing for them should get picked up pretty easily from Nussmeier, from all those guys. All those guys are smart guys. Miles, all those guys. They should pick that up pretty swiftly. But Nussmeier's advantage in this whole thing is, without a doubt, his legs. Without a doubt, his confidence. Without a doubt, his ability. And he actually reads defenses pretty good right now for the stage that he is in his young career. He picks up defenses and goes to the right place with the ball pretty good. His problem is getting them feet in line all the time or going there, because he's so athletic. You know what I mean? So sometimes he just relies strictly on that quick twitch and getting that ball out, but he has to get his feet lined up. And also with him, he has to work on that accuracy as well. Accuracy for him because every time he's throwing the ball. That's why I compare him to Brett Favre. Every time he's moving the ball, it's so much that he puts into it, right? So much that he puts into whole bodies like Brett Favre. Brett Favre just throw that thing down the field. He puts everything into it. Sometimes it's like they running into it. You know what I mean? And so that's how Nussmeier is. And what happens with that is your accuracy gets affected sometimes. Your accuracy gets affected sometimes because a lot of those times you're throwing all arm. You know what I mean? A lot of Favre, a lot of these guys with these strong arms throwing all arm. And that's what Nuss has to get to. That's where like you pointed out, coaching comes into play with lining those feet up, not closing that front side, especially when he's going left, which is hard for us as right-handed quarterbacks. You hear coaches say all the time, open up, open your gate. Don't close your gate, which all he's saying is this pointer foot, which is your left foot, instead of you open up, they're going from right to left, open up with your pointer. You're stepping across yourself, and now you can't bring this back foot through. You're closing yourself off. So we got to open this gate up so this back foot is swing through, and you can get all that inertia we want coming off that ground coming through. And that's where he's closing himself off a bunch coming to the left. Going to the right, he's fine, but closing himself off a bunch coming to the left, which is what we do as right-handed quarterbacks, especially young right-handed quarterbacks that are used to just throwing with all arm. Once we get that fixed with him and them coaches curtail him a little bit, give him about 20, 25 plays that he knows really well, that's the type of maturation and bringing to it they need to do with this guy. Because I'm going to tell you, I personally think that Nussmeier is going to be a fantastic football player. Now, I don't know how it's going to work out going down the hill with the big boy in the back waiting and Walker. And so that's another thing we're going to be talking about next year. It's a whole different thing next year, baby.
Well, that's where they have to – it feels like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place almost between, all right, what do you want to do game one? Because that'll be two different off. Like Jaden Daniels might suit Nussmeier because he seems like the one that makes the most sense is Nuss. But you have two quarterbacks that are more experienced going into a game that's a primetime Florida State. Brian Kelly wants to win the first game at a new job where everything is he has whether or not he knows that there's pressure at this job that it starts day one. There ain't no leash.
Oh, he know that shit.
That's what I'm saying. So he's going to put somebody out there that gives him the best opportunity to win game one, just to get to game one. And then, all right, the back end of the schedule, you have Southern and then you have New Mexico State where you can kind of figure some things out.
Right.
Then you get into Mississippi State and get into conference play.
Right. I think that whoever starts against Florida State will have not a short leash. They'll have some time, but I'm with you on the first one. I definitely think that it depends, and it depends on how they come out of spring. Let me say it depends on how they come out of spring. Because I'm gonna go to a couple. If we go to spring and coming out of spring and the shit all tight and close, and we don't know if it's Nuss, we don't know if it's Miles, we don't know if it's Daniels, we don't know. You're gonna see 2 in the first game,
Mm-hmm.
but it can't be 3, dog. This is the thing. Ain't no damn way you're playing with 3 quarterbacks. If we see 3 quarterbacks in the first game,
that's what spring's for.
We got a damn problem. We can't see 3. You got 3, you got none. I guess if that's how it goes during the fall and they're that tight, I expect to see 2 of them play against Florida State and then go from there. Because this is the thing, even against Florida State, you want to win the football game 100%. But you getting ready, whatever you don't do there, you're getting ready to go into the SEC shit after these 2 games, upcoming games after Florida State. So you want to have it figured out, and not figured out to where it's this or that. You want to have it and let that guy know and the team know and everybody knows where they stand with that guy. Now, if you got to go to two-headed monster and no one's still not separating themselves and doop, now you got to make a damn decision, man. Now you got to earn that money.
Yeah, now you're fighting to win 7.
Now you're fighting to win 7 at best.
It goes Florida State, Southern, then Mississippi State. I thought they had a buffer, but so we get right into, we only got 1 buffer game.
Southern.
Right, which is going to be a party.
That's going to be a great game. That's going to be a great atmosphere.
Great party.
It's going to be a great atmosphere, though.
Might not make it to the game.
For real.
Oh, you better damn make
I'm just saying.
Look,
but
I remember it.
what the game.
Look,
That's gonna be a
keep
great
it real.
game.
I'm gonna be on my head.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, pouring up like Ro.
That's
That's
right.
gonna be a great game,
That's
though.
gonna be the
I mean, it's fucking long overdue, dude.
Yeah,
Like they should have been playing this game. It's one of them shits that they should play like every year.
yeah. I
know
think
what
we
I
should
mean?
start doing like just a revolving door of all the state teams because we haven't played Tulane in a while and we haven't played UL in a while.
listen.
UL game was
Here you go.
that's a rivalry game
Who? UL?
Rivalry.
according to them.
We played UL, didn't we?
No.
Yeah, like back, like a while back, probably like
But
2011,
now UL was
2012.
good with Billy Napier, and they thought that they could get. They thought they could come into Baton Rouge and win, or play LSU and win.
Man, LSU the big dog in the state, no doubt. But I would love to see us just go around, just instead of like the teams that you like bring in,
Like
from,
Central
out of
Michigan
town
and shit.
Well, I don't know about they. I mean, fuck, they better than they good. They not bad.
Yeah, they wasn't bad, but
But
like,
I'm just.
We was calling for an upset last year against Central Michigan.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I ain't talking about no Central Michigan. Central Michigan is a good squad. They not no rent-a-win. I'm talking about like, Middle Tennessee State or somebody like that.
Yeah.
That we bring in that we know, you know what I'm saying, we're going to smash and that type of thing.
Appalachian
Like-
State.
They're like that. I bring these people from around the state in now. You know what I mean? Like, go fucking play the Senate, what's that team up in Shreveport? My boy, Big Byron Dawson up there, the Cemetery or Cemetery?
Centenary.
Centenary, that's that. Like, go get them. Go play them. Go play McNeese. Go like they did that. Go play like
I was
play
lost.
that. Get them money to the. You was lost.
Got tore up by Cody Orgeron.
got cooked by his own son.
So yeah.
Hey, but for nothing else, you keep that money in state. Keep that money to help some of these schools that don't have shit. Like everybody. Besides just all the money go to LSU. You can help the Southern, help the Grambling, help the Northeast, the Northwest, all of them.
They play Northwestern State.
Play all of them, dog. Like they all those kids from. The other thing about it is, all those kids are from the area. They all want to play in Tiger Stadium. Like what the hell?
They just want to run down on kick. One time.
Yep.
Listen, they just want to run on the field. dog.
Absolutely.
Like all these kids, even these kids that I coach, all they talk about is Tiger Stadium. Some of them ain't even never been in damn Tiger Stadium. For real. I was just reading a funny message
I sent it on accident.
Huh? That one from you?
No, I did send you a message, but it was on accident.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, I did though. Like growing for real. Like who ain't never had no crackhead?
I was
watch
about to
their
say.
car?
I was about to say she kind of took that. You kind of said that wrong because like if you
No,
if
like,
you
I
really
what he
know,
meant. I've
you-
had one wash my
yeah.
car, but it was just funny.
You might wash that thing for a beer. You get them a little beer from the store.
Dog.
funny.
Yeah, but I'll take care of them, though. I'm saying, like, dog, you're already saving like a guap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
You're right. You're
for
right.
real, like, if you take your car, they'll get washed in detail at, I don't know, whoever do it, Benny's, some shit like that. How much is it going to cost you? Like, I know a real good wash and detail costs like a couple $100.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they buff it, do all that wax and shit, all that shit. Shit. Ain't nobody doing that. Drop that shit off. Crackhead.
Just take the keys.
Call Cujo.
Nah, don't give me a key.
No.
No, I'm saying you take the keys with you.
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
damn
Lock
right
it.
you take it.
Yeah.
Damn right you take your keys.
You better
now.
clear the change thing and everything.
Yeah.
And but look, you see, that's what I'm saying. Y'all don't got good relationships, dog. You gotta have a good relationship with them. When you got a good relationship, you ain't gotta do all that. Cause you know why? They know you gonna take care of them.
True. This is
They ain't
true.
even gonna steal your change. Cause they know you gonna get to them. You gonna get them way more than that change. They gonna, dog. Cause you know when you done had a crackhead wash your car. Cause I'm talking about, you know how you shine the rim?
Yeah.
Crackhead shine behind the rim.
They might take it off.
So
They shine behind the rims. And you know what they shine that bitch
That
with?
Deshaun Watson behind the rim.
They, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Really?
Lord. Dog, why'd you say Hey. Oh. See y'all. You laughing because I said I wasn't gonna talk about that with Deshaun Watson.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were watching it when Deshaun Watson talking about, and the young lady said, Deshaun Watson. I can't even believe Deshaun Watson, dog. Dog. Deshaun Watson told her, what he told her? He told her.
A little bit lower.
Yeah.
A little bit softer now.
A little bit lower and
a little bit softer
deeper.
now. A little bit softer now.
He told her a little bit
shout.
lower and a little bit deeper.
That's
Deep
crazy.
tissue.
He wanted a real deep tissue massage.
Real deep.
Dog, this is Deshaun Watson.
It's a physical.
And she wasn't the only one.
Rub that real quick.
She wasn't the only one. That's your last drink right there.
It's at 66 now, bro.
What?
It went from 23 or 24 to 66 allegations.
Hey, and out the 66, 33 of them have given him a soft tissue massage. At least 33 of them. He's asking for it. Did you hear that in the thing? He was asking for it, cuz. Like, nigga, we don't need to know your
Personal preferences.
yeah, we don't need to know that. We don't need to know that. Dog, but listen.
A crackhead.
How crazy is
Clean
it?
the rims.
Hey, Jordy, the answer to your question is yes. I actually saw him when he came over the Reyes game on Sunday. So, yes, we have him. We're going to work that out with him after that tribute. You're talking about that tribune that came out with him. So, yeah, we good. I'm answering Jordy on air.
On air.
Yeah, I don't got no time to look at that phone. So, we talking about my main man, JaMarcus Russell. The big chief,
J-Rock,
the big chief. He just did a little piece for the NFL Tribune.
it was awesome.
It was fucking fantastic, And I actually,
You got time for that phone.
I don't got no time, dog. So he, I actually had a chance to see him this weekend. He came to watch my little girl play volleyball in Alabama. And I was looking at the shit he did. He also got 30 for 30 shit that's coming out in a couple months or something like that. But man, listen, did you read it?
I did.
Yeah,
You saw how it started
Oh my God.
when he was 14 years old?
14 years old.
Don't it grip you and grab you?
You know, I mean, it's a whole different area, dude.
Oh, we're going to have him on the show.
Yeah.
We're going to
Got
have the
to.
big kahuna.
How much trouble did that boy think he was in? The cousin.
Oh, trouble.
Trouble. Don't tell your mama.
No, listen.
Go to
dude,
sleep.
Go to sleep. Here's my hotel. Here's my house keys.
Dude, I mean, let me tell you something. I don't think people understand the caliber of a player that this young man was. And how, I know everybody that think they know the story about his decline or his demise. And I've heard, everybody with their take on things over the years. But I think that once whoever gets a chance to read and listen to the NFL Tribune and also watch his 30 for 30 and also watch his interview that's going to be here in the house, and how the things that he has gone through and the things that he was going through, and I'm not making no excuses for him, but the things and the past trajectory of how his life was taking shape, I don't think anybody, dude, much less us, could understand what the hell was going on at the time. Not just being a number one overall pick, family, people passing away
Consecutively.
addiction, being at the top and having that support system, that ear, that unbiased person that loves and care about you the most, even sometimes more than your mom and your dad them. And to have that person ripped away from you, and now you're now still this guy here and having to deal with all those things, and it's a lot, man. And I know people just look and say, oh, he got money, this should be that, but it's always a lot to it. And I'm looking forward to my little brother getting on here and for people to really just understand more of the individual and more of who he is as a person, because it's a lot to it. It's a lot to it.
And I didn't know that. I didn't know the half of it, because we've had him on in previous shows where I've been able to hear him, and he is an unbelievable interview. He is. If you read the piece, that's exactly who he is. Like, you could tell that he had his hands all over that thing, but I don't think he's ever been able to open up like that on a forum and be able to explain his entire story, because he took loss after loss after loss, and at some point you got to turn around and say, bro, I need a break.
Yeah,
like,
fuck this shit.
Ain't nobody helping me when I go to the facility.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody care whenever I'm complaining. I'm crying in front of you, and they're like, suit up.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I don't know anything. Yeah. Like, because y'all haven't been able to help me and don't want to help me.
Right.
Y'all even, like, the coaching staff didn't want him there. Only one person did, and he was in a wheelchair, breathing through his nose the whole time. Like, he couldn't. Like, Al Davis had nothing to do with the coaching staff.
Everything
they set him up to fail.
In that damn place was a 100%.
Shit show.
And even, man, listen, and even after that, you know what I'm saying? Even that bullshit that they try to film with him and try to bring Jeff Garcia in the fold, that was a fucking sham. You know what I mean? That was
the comeback attempt.
Yeah, that was them. And it's going to come out, it's all there. That was them using JaMarcus as a pawn to revitalize or whatever it was that they were trying to do with that facility out there that included Jeff Garcia. And Jeff Garcia hardly worked with JaMarcus. The only time Jeff Garcia showed up was when the film crew was around.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, that in itself, man, from you already coming from a place where you don't trust anybody. Everybody's coming at you because of who you are and what you can do for them. No one has your best interests at heart. All they see is the money, the draft status, him as a young, flashy young man, all that shit like that there. So when it comes down to it, I'm glad it's coming out. When it comes down to it and see the effects of how all that, then pressures, then addiction, you know what I mean? Loss after loss. Then now the worst part about it, a guy that comes from a spiritual background, a guy that comes from that faith background, now his faith, most importantly, is on the line. And now he's questioning things within his faith. Why is this happening to me? So he's getting further and further away from his purpose and getting further and further away from the Lord. And you get further and further away from him, you're in trouble. And that is ultimately all the things that happened to my dog. And he got back. You know, mom brought him back. Grandma brought him back. His girl brought him back. And I'm looking forward to JaMarcus. Dude, I've been I have known JaMarcus, and JaMarcus was in the 8th grade.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about y'all's history together.
You know what I mean? I've known that boy since we were in the 8th grade. We were sitting down this weekend. He was telling a story at the gym. It was about when we met. And, you know, sometimes, man, it be so long ago, you forget certain shit. But then when he brings up, you know, how we met and we talking, and he was looking at quarterbacks in his size, and, you know, just all the little things, how he grew up and all that, and me meeting his family, his mother, pops, his aunts, then have an opportunity to go to his neighborhood, which his stadium is the Senior Bowl. You know, that was his home stadium, the Senior Bowl. And he literally could walk across the street, like 2 blocks across the street, and he was in the home stadium from his house. You know, the barbershop he grew up in, all the guys, like, the whole community that he grew up in that rallied around him, you know, in his community there, he's more than just like a quarterback. He's hope for those other little kids that's running around there, that's from that little Pritchard over there in Alabama. Even the old, and I got some clips we gonna have to show, but even the, I mean, and it don't even, it's not just his age. It's his mother's age. It's younger than him. It's the Waffle Houses that he owns, that he provides jobs for people with. It's the youth programs and all the little things that he's doing now and have been doing to uplift that community that, you know what I'm saying, we don't necessarily know about or we don't even care about. But, you know, JaMarcus Russell is more than just the quarterback that everyone considers a bust or the quarterback that was in trouble throughout his whatever, for whenever time he got in trouble for when the police kicked his door in or for drinking lean or whatever it is that is out there and people think and know. Please take the time to read this NFL Tribune. Watch the 30 for 30 that's going to be out on him in a couple months or whenever it's coming out. And check him out here. He's going to be here. He'll be here. Basically whenever I ask him, he'll be here. Most likely after this thing gets wrapped up with the Tribune. I know he doing some final stuff for it this week. Final approval from what he was saying. And then it should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And then he's going to be ready to talk all about it, man. I think he's going to go on a little, you know.
A little press junket?
Yeah, a little junkie. We're going to make sure he stop in the kennel and share a little something with us, you know what I mean? So it's JaMarcus, and it's other things that he has that's, you know, that he's going to be doing with the NFL and just some speaking things. And he's going to be getting himself back out there and sharing a story and just trying to help where he can, telling his story and trying to, you know, prevent some of those same things that he's going through from happening with, you know, whoever, kids, grown-ups, whoever, you know. So we'll see, but stay tuned for that, Liz. J-Rock.
I've heard some stories about J-Rock before you finish up on him, and I'd never heard this before in my life, but Hester was saying every time he'd hand the ball off, he'd be giving him a pump-up speech the entire time. Instead, usually you would get like, you know, maybe like a zone read cut left, cut right. He's like, get him, get his ass. And Hester was like, I've never had that happen in my entire life, but he was hyping me up the entire time he was handing me the rock.
Let me tell you something. He's one of the most, you wouldn't think this because he was so big, but JaMarcus was so athletic, dude. Like, the first time I saw him, not in high school, but when he got to LSU, we was playing in a basketball game. And I seen this young man just drop step 360 dunk. And he was a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with my mic?
You got to bend that elbow. There you go. Get that high throwing arm.
Yeah, you get that
elbow
elbow
up here. Get that elbow up.
But that's and just fuck. Speaking of throwing, I mean, couldn't nobody let that thing go like J-Rock now.
Over the top.
Ooh.
You.
Yeah,
y'all were both way over the top.
We were way over the top, but he was a little bit more over the top. Fuck. He was a little bit more over the top than I was. That boy let that thing go, man. It was just a flick of the wrist, and it was boom. You know what I mean? One of my favorite plays with him was the one where he hit Bo across the middle, and it seemed so simple.
In the back of the end zone?
Nah, he hit Bo like it was against. I want to say it was against Auburn, and Bo was on the right hand side. Bo had it looked like either a quick slant, but the linebacker shot the first window. So Bo had to take it to the next window. And J-Rock looked like he read it wrong initially and wanted to hit that first window. That son of a bitch paused in mid-air and the next window. And Bo caught that thing and scored. But it was just, like, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that shit. You can't get up there and get ready to throw and then stop and say, nah, I want to go that way. Pew, I'm going to go that way. Hell no. It was just little things like that, man, with that young man was incredible. And you know what, bro? It's just like timing with anything else. You know what I mean? Like, I went to New England. I got drafted to New England. And I have no complaints about it ever. And was able to learn and sit behind the greatest quarterback and the greatest coach to ever play the game. And I consider myself lucky for that. You know what I mean? A lot of people was like, damn, you should have went somewhere else so you could play. Yeah, I would have liked that. But what now I see what the good Lord has set up for me because it's helping me with everything that I do now. But just imagine if JaMarcus would have went somewhere besides the Oakland Raiders. You know what I mean?
That field is
That had 100% because you bring a guy into the organization, that organization is all fucked up, man. And you bring a guy in there that have all the shit that was going on with him at the time that he got there, and then you have no one in the organization that ever fucking wanted him there. Dog, if you don't have nobody behind you, everybody's cheering for you to fail because all they want to say is, I told you so. I told you so. See, I told you not to draft him. I told you this. It was all that shit. Everybody's pointing their damn fingers. And that's not what it's about. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's not what it's about. When you bring the organization, why do you think New England was so successful? Tom's good. Great. But why the fuck is New England successful? New England is successful because you know what? The janitor believes. You know what I mean? The janitor believes in that draft pick. You know what I mean? Like, there's no sabotage. There's no one, even if they have that opinion, right? Because everybody's not always going to agree. But even if you have that opinion, you keep that shit to yourself for the betterment of your team. Dog, when I was at LSU and going through the quarterback battle with Josh Booty, shit. I used to not like Josh. You hear me? Like, we in practice, I'm going to tear his ass up today. That's my mentality, how I'm thinking. I'm about to separate myself today. But when freaking Saturday comes and I'm on that sideline, the only thing I care about is winning. I don't care what I got to do to help Josh Booty, Craig Nall, whoever it is, win. What you need me to see? You need me to see what the safety doing? You need me to see what the corner doing? What do you need me to see? Like, because the ultimate thing is to win. JaMarcus went to that shit, and they ultimate thing was to show that he was the wrong choice. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, let's get behind this kid, whatever. It wasn't that. It was, we want the old man out. He okayed this shit. We don't want it. What can we do to get this shit over with as quick as possible? And that's what it seemed, you know what I mean? And I'm not absolving J-Rock of the shit went on. But let me tell you something, bro. It's hard for somebody in his position to now take on the weight of a whole company on your shoulder and say, you know what? Show us promise. You ain't show shit in however many years. How you expect this young man to show you promise right now when it's more than just him, you know? So check him out. We're going to take us a little break, man, and come back. And we're going to let Jay weigh in on something right quick. She been over there quiet. Ain't saying that. We're going to let you weigh in right quick, dog. Where my dogs at? We'll be back, man.
And then Josh McCown.
whenever Tyrann Mathieu's ready for that challenge.
I remember going to the Tennessee camp.
Oh, this is a great story.
And I had locked everybody up.
Yeah.
Like, literally, I was licking my chops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo.
Jarvis and Odell are there, right?
Everybody was there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, all y'all get in line. Like, everybody, come on. I'm going to go
Get back in line.
I'm going to go rep after rep. And then it really kind of turned into a show where none of the
Right.
DBs wanted to go.
Yeah.
None of the receivers wanted to go. It was literally, then it turned to me and Jarvis.
Right.
Just one-on-one. You know what I mean? So,
Y'all can't see this. I was watching my boy Blue, man. I was watching my boy Blue. We gonna have to get this cut up and so the fans can see it. But we talking about crackheads, and like Blue is like the ultimate. Like, he's the ultimate. He's the best down there in Pritchard, Alabama. Shout out to my boy Blue, man. We gonna have him on here cut up the next time. We're gonna send him a check though. We just ain't gonna use him now and put him on there. You know, we're gonna send him like $2.
Gotta break the man off something.
$2 good. $2. That's enough. What about this Jay? Jay, you found something.
It was
What?
So funny.
What?
It was just so funny.
Man was in a bad spot.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
She showed me this when I came in. It was like, you gotta do this. I was like, this is like, this has got to be Jay's take of the day. Jay, this is your take of the day, because this here is absolutely ridiculous. Go ahead, you got it. What we got?
Like, how does this happen? Why did he knock you out of his shirt?
Why was he so close to the
Well, if you look at the beginning of the video, he was like trying to, like, I guess reach at it. Like, he gave him a little, like, give me a hug type of thing. Like,
Bro, you don't know what you're messing
Who
with.
is he?
exactly.
Maybe
It's
he
gonna
just wants
restart.
the hug. I don't know.
Look,
You think he just wants a little kiss?
Maybe.
asking a monkey for a hug is
That ain't no monkey though. That's a
That's a
orangutan.
orangutan. That's
Look,
a
he's like, hey, hands
see?
up.
Dog, that monkey is
What's the-
fucking violent
What's
too.
the move right here, though, Ro? What's the move?
Look, you gotta take the shirt off, dog.
You
You
gotta
gotta come
flip
out
up
the
the
shirt.
shirt.
You gotta come out the shirt.
little film study.
Yeah, you gotta come out the shirt. And dude,
That man's about to snap his leg.
Look at how
hey, that little boy's skinny too.
Uh-huh.
His skin, look, he pushed the wife away. Like, get out of here, bitch.
You want a little smoke? I got four more. I got 4 arms. 2 arms and 2 legs. They all got thumbs.
Hey, man, thank
Go and
God
picks
he
him right
ain't-
up.
Oh no.
No, really, I feel like he could have like pulled his leg through there.
Nah, listen.
Slip, bob and weave.
Listen.
He literally could have just dusted
Well,
his
yeah,
head and
that's
pulled
what I'm
his arms
saying.
out.
I don't even like this dude here can't fight though. I don't even understand how the monkey literally grabbed his shirt and then let it go and grabbed his leg. And she trying to kick it. He was like,
And
get
he's
out of here.
like, "Oh, I'll get you 2. I have 2 for dinner."
How? Listen, where is this?
I don't even.
It's
I don't even
China.
know.
It had to be like in the zoo somewhere. I don't
Yeah,
know what zoo.
but what I'm saying is like most zoos, you can't even be that close to the animals. To their range.
Like,
I
look
know
at how
he in a
reached
cage.
his arm out.
It looked like Go Gadget arms. That shit
For
looked like
real.
it went longer than it was supposed to.
And then look, he was just like chilling on the like hanging on the rails, like just feet and hands on the
Well, he
rails.
looks away and he still got him.
Yeah, it didn't seem like at the time where it went down at the beginning, he didn't seem like he was too concerned.
I would have backed up.
Like, I don't understand why the hell he was walking that close to the damn cage.
He's
That's
about
what
to
I don't
snap
understand.
that leg. Guys, about to oh.
He
We just
really
hang out there
could.
forever?
Like, look at this. I would have moved out
Get
of
his
the way.
go gadget.
That boy quicker than Mayweather.
He looks so scared. Like, he looks so
That boy
scared.
quicker. He does look
And
terrible.
longer than Ali.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you.
Why did he not get
I'm
out of his
surprised
shirt?
I didn't see a bunch of stuff just running down his damn leg.
Oh,
I'm
he-
saying I'd have shitted on
No,
myself.
I would have
Yeah.
No
peed
doubt.
immediately.
Oh my god.
That might be
Definitely
the only
would've
thing
peed
that
myself.
helps.
Cause you
He should
know,
pee.
look how he got that man wrapped up by his thighs though.
Look at
With
that knee.
all-
That thing's about to snap.
I would have went in the shock. Seriously.
He picked him up, dude.
What do you do? The
What
move,
you would have done? Lizzo?
poke him in the eye.
He might have bit your finger. He quit.
I mean, he's got my leg. He's got my Johnson. He's trying to get my girl and poke him in the eye.
Hey, what you would have did, Stu?
I mean, you got to come out the shirt. Like that would have been my first
That's the
move.
first thing I would've
That's the
done.
I
My
would
head
just
and
duck the head
real
and move
quick.
the shirt.
Yeah, if you
Cause
never
he pulling it so hard, you can just slip out the shirt. Like,
Yeah, he definitely could have got out the shirt as soon as he initially grabbed him. Shit,
I'd have hit that quick.
But dog, I'm still puzzled. I'm puzzled by the fact that he was that close to the thing.
See, like I said, the start of the video, he was like kind of gave him like a
peace
little gesture,
offering.
like hello, like let's be friends.
The guy,
Yeah, and then
that's when he
the
launched at him
orangutan
and
was
grabbed
like,
him.
We are not friends.
We are not
I
the
want to eat
same.
you.
Yeah.
Like,
not the same.
Give me a kiss.
I'm in here starving, and these bananas just ain't doing
They
it.
ain't
no
doing
damn
it.
more. These bananas, these apples, I don't want none of that.
coconuts. I'm done with
I
it.
don't think they eat meat though.
No,
Probably
it's-
didn't
Hey,
know,
Why is
like,
that bananas and
They
apples?
eat fruit and stuff.
I don't know. I would have peed on myself. Really. Like, I would have went into shock immediately.
I think he did. We were all talking about doing the slip. Like, that's the move if you have an older brother. You've been in that spot. Or if you played tackle football in the yard, you're like,
What if
you
you-
know when to slip. Like, you got my shirt, you feel your neck.
Yep.
Whoop!
Yeah,
and
you
you
gotta
get out of
slip the
that
whole
thing.
shirt.
It'd have been funny if he'd have tried to slip out and he'd just slap the shit out
And
of
just
her.
grab him by the head, squish
what
it
I'm
like a
saying.
melon.
Like how he pushed the lady out the way, like get out of here. Like when he tried to slip.
You next.
No, monkeys slap people alive.
I know.
I see
Yeah.
it a lot.
I know.
Michael Jackson said that his monkey slapped him and spit on him.
Oh, you probably like that, though.
Yeah.
Listen, let's not talk about the king of pop, okay?
No
Let's
comment.
not get on here about Mike. This is not about Mike, okay? It's about that guy walking too close to the monkey cage and almost having his damn thing ripped apart.
We don't know
okay?
what happened because they
I
ended
would've
that video
stroked
mighty
out.
quick.
They sure
Yeah,
did.
they did.
They
But
sure-
like the fact that they kept the video rolling is
I would've
even
kept it
more
going,
crazy.
too.
But like, why were they recording? That's what I
No,
need.
the
I need
phone
to know.
was set up.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I need the context
who?
behind.
The phone was
the
set up.
phone
If you
was
look at
set
the
up
phone,
to
it's
like
set up.
record. But
Oh,
it,
so he was set it up to record because he was gonna fuck with that monkey.
yeah. So he
That
must have
orangutan.
been fucking with the monkey all day.
Yeah.
Thought he had a friend.
And
Yeah.
not.
No friends.
Like, play with Mike like that. It's
Let me
over.
tell you something.
I think I could get in Mike
What you think
Cage.
Deshaun Watson would have did?
It turned around.
I was going to say the same thing.
I give you 500.
You would've did a little-
I give you 500 extra.
Oh, you can use all 4?
That's crazy.
Rub this real quick for me.
The leather Cheerio.
They're gonna have a 67th victim come and raise their furry hands. I also gave Deshaun Watson a deep tissue massage.
They're gonna go to his house. He's got 4 cage monkeys in there.
That's crazy to me.
He
Like,
would have turned around. That is hilarious.
Don't grab my shirt, grab my pants.
Oh, man. So let me tell you something. I wanna do do an experiment, right?
Not that one.
No, hell no.
We're off the experiments with monkeys. We ain't doing that.
No, we off the experiment with all that. But I would like to see, dog, when we talk about this quarterback situation, right? And coming up in the spring. Fall, I'm sorry. We're coming out of the spring. I watched, and this just to take it back to them right quick, because we're going to get up out of here, but this is very important with these guys getting ready to go into the fall. Whatever that these coaches have graded them on so far, whether it's leadership ability, whether it's the grass of the players list, whatever it is, right? So now you have this battle going on. Honestly, man, I look for the first week and a half of fall practice for you to clearly know who the two are.
How many practices do you have in the fall?
Well, they doing 2-a-days? You do
Nah.
2-a-days still? They do away with that
I
shit.
think they got away from that.
Yeah, I think they do 2-a-days, but one's like a walkthrough or something.
Yeah, and you could throw on the side by
I
yourself.
tell you something, dog. Oh, I wish it was like that when I was playing. Lord Jesus.
How was them
Christ.
2-a-days with Nick Saban?
Dog, not even him. It was Jerry DiNardo.
Oh yeah, the old heads.
That motherfucker, dog. It was.
Keep going.
I remember we had a practice, dog, like real shit. Not exaggerating. And then you got to understand, these are times where we used to like bus every fucking where. So I think we were staying like at the Hilton, or not the Hilton, one of them hotels right there off of College. You know, the Marriott where all that sat. We was over there. And we had to bus over to the practice field for the morning. So we bus over, dog. We had it was already like we didn't do no hour 45-minute practice, dog, back then. So we already in that thing, practice in it. It's about 2:45. We out there 2 hours and 45 minutes. Dog. We go through everything. At the end, we cool down, stretch, all that shit.
Think it's over.
Blow the whistle, bring it up. That son of a gun did not like, I don't know if he didn't like how we ran up or he didn't like how practice went. We started practice all the way over. From stretch, dog. From stretch. We had to line up in stretch lines. From the beginning of practice, dog, everybody lathered the fuck up. From stretch lines. We had to start all the way over again from stretch lines. You talking about the first time I wanted to
Fight.
a coach. Yeah, the first time I really was like, yeah, he gonna have to come see me, and everybody we wanted to beat Coach DiNardo up, dog. That was like one of the worst. And it was strictly for fight. And the other time was we had a scrimmage. Nah, we ain't even had no scrimmage yet. Auburn or some fucking body had a scrimmage the day before we had a scrimmage. And they went like some crazy amount of plays, dog. Like, you know, average football game, number like 70, 74 plays. You know. They went like stupid shit, like 90.
Triple digits.
Like 90. They went like 90.
150.
No, we went triple digits. we had to be the ones to have
Top that.
Yeah. We was out on that fucking field, dog. In this Louisiana, like all day, Coach DiNardo wanted to prove a point and wanted to go more snaps than Auburn. They did 100. We're gonna do 200.
Indeed, no.
And dog, I'm talking about soft tissue injuries, guys cramping, passing out. Jack Marucci had a hell of a day that day. That's all I could tell you. Him, Jack, Andy, but then how many guys are falling out? Like, it was just total bullshit, honestly. And the only reason we did it was to say we did more.
Well, that's when you know a coach is losing the team. Because he doesn't know what really he's doing, but he knows his job is on the line, so what's the answer? I'm going to work him harder. I think that's not the way. So how are we going to feel on Saturday?
No, you got to work smart. And that's what's going to be interesting about these guys. I know Coach Kelly, Dunbar, those guys used to work at smart. It's going to be interesting to see with these guys coming in. Once you cut that bitch down to 2 guys, right? Once you knock it down to 2 guys, now you got a third guy going to feel some type of way. You don't know what kind of smoke coming from there. But you can't pay no attention to that while you get into the season. You deal with that shit after. And that's why I think that you pointed it out, Les, they keeping them two guys in the front, keeping the young guy in the back. Nussmeier is going to be who that decision is going to get placed on, depending on how fall goes. Because you got to understand, dog, he's a coach's son, you're not just gonna sit around and just take whatever's going on, especially if he's one of them guys. He is the guy in position. And I'm gonna tell you, dog, the players on the team, that's who let you know. That's who let you know who the hell they want to be the quarterback. Guys gonna run harder, work harder for whoever it is that they feel could get them the job done. Especially in today's day and age where everybody want to go to the league. And it ain't so much more about your friends, it's about who the hell get the job done. So it don't matter what the layout is for the coaches. They want this to happen, that to happen. If Nussmeier's getting the job done, if Miles, whoever it is, and that's who the team is rallying around, that's who the players want, that's who's going to be the quarterback.
Well, and you saw that happen with whenever Burrow came in. They had McMillan and they had Lowell Narcisse, and they both transferred out, and they thought that McMillan had earned the right to be able to compete for the job. But Joe came in there and absolutely put his foot down and was like, I'm going to be the starting quarterback. And when you demand that sort of confidence and look at me, I'm the leader of the team, that's how you get people's respect, whether you like him or not. That's the guy that I'm going to bleed for. I'm going to win for because he proved it to me.
100%.
Because you can swing the locker room that way.
And I think that too with Miles. Miles has that advantage with that because he's played, he's done it in the SEC. I think he has the advantage of that with the confidence from the guys. Now he just got to go out and show it in practice and show it when it's time to show it in the games. But I think Miles has that going for him too, with the confidence that the rest of the team, because they know he's done it. You know, like you pointed out, it's a big thing when you either know a guy has done it or you know he has the ability to do it because he's shown it. So that's a huge thing that he has going for him. But at the end of the day, man, those we go back to Coach Kelly and Coach Denbrock, and those guys are used to mobile, guys that could get on the edge, accurate quarterback that are leaders. And, you know,
all signs point to one.
Daniels or Nussmeier. But I honestly think that Miles is going to be right there in the mix. I honestly think that he's probably the first choice.
You get back to what did they say to get him to come back, and they had to promise him something.
I know.
And then I don't think they expected Jaden Daniels to hit the portal, and then that kind of opened up the competition. But now Miles is already in the boat.
100%.
No pun intended.
100%. 100%.
And now they have somewhat of a competition
100%.
To where it's like, all right, now we have two guys that have starting experience, and then Nussmeier comes to camp and shows out, and it's like now we have a real kind of a problem.
Well, and that's the thing. If he comes to camp and he showed that he's really learned and improved from whatever it is that they targeted that he needed to change going into fall, if he does that, and whenever they do these mock games and the guys and you let them go and let them play, and if he shows the improvement and the decision, and when we talk about improvement with him, all we're talking about is decision making, right? That's what we're talking about with him is decision making. And as long as he's improved in doing that, honestly, the best, in my opinion, for the future of the program, he's the best choice. And naturally, because his growth is not being slowed, because he's now sitting back waiting for Daniels and Miles to muck it up so he could get his opportunity. Or they may not muck it up and run with it for the whole year. And now that it still, you know what I'm saying, brings him back. So now what you have is following year, they're gone, and you have Howard and Nuss competing for the job and whoever else they bring in. Because now you won't have a sample size from Howard or from Nuss if he doesn't play this year with those two guys playing in Daniels and Miles Brennan. So it's tough, bro. It's tough. It's tough for the coaches right now. But, you know, if you go by the old saying, man, best man wins the job.
When it comes back to kind of how you felt, like I hated, I don't want to say hated, I wanted to compete with Josh Booty. I wanted to compete and win the job, but whenever I was on the sidelines, you hope that you take that same mentality into the games where, like, I don't give a fuck right now. I just want
Right,
to win.
I wanna win.
And so, and I think Nussmeier has that same mentality. Like, he wants to play, no doubt. But if you want to play that bad, that means you want to win that bad. And if you want to win that bad, you'll do whatever it takes, whether it be from charting plays on the sidelines, watching whatever you can't look at, or being able to, when you come to the bench, like, hey, you told me to look at this, this, and this. This is what I saw. I'm with the offensive coordinator. We're on the telephone together, and I'm able to help you chart the next 5 plays.
True teammate.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's basically what it boils down to, is taking the I out of yourself. That's why man, shit, man. At the end of the day, when you go through all the competition is supposed to make everybody better. What competition does now, what it seems like to these kids, because of the transfer portal, competition, if they don't win, makes them escape. It makes them go into the portal. It makes them retreat. It makes them want to go to wherever someone promised them something, or go somewhere where they think is better, instead of, you know what, it was a great competition. I lost to, the better quarterback at this time, and I know everybody has dreams and aspirations. It's hard to just sit there once you got beat out.
Because none of these guys have ever been beat out before.
Right.
They've all been 3 or 4 year starters.
Right. And it's hard, dude. Like, it's hard, man. Like, I went through it when I first got here, and my plans are, hey, boy, you're going to go there, sit behind Herb Tyler. After Herb Tyler, you're going to run that thing for 3 years, go to the NFL, da-da-da-da-da, all that type of shit. Oh, yeah, didn't work that way, none of it.
I'm in a battle every week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
and I'm not a good practice player.
Right. I hated practice. And so now you got to change your practice habits. You got to go up against a damn Josh Booty that had all the technique and all the pretty shit that everybody was
Louisiana guy.
You know what I mean? All that. So it just was, you know what you find out at that time, though? You find out that opportunity is not opportunity in a game. Like, everybody thinks that when people say, oh, man, your chance going to come. Your time going to come. Your time, I used to think this, your time is not necessarily in the game. It could be in practice. It could be at the board when they call you up on the board, so they can see what the hell you know. So now it gives them confidence that, okay, yeah, maybe I could put them in the game. Maybe I could give them an extra play here and there, so on and so forth. So I think a lot of us get caught up in our opportunity is when
the lights are brightest.
The lights are bright. That's what I used to think. You know what I mean? Like, I used to just want to play when the lights come on, until Coach Saban came here. You know what I mean? What the hell was that?
I think that was Alexa from Prime.
What?
She's over there. But
boy,
she's spying on you. That's why we paying cash.
Nah, dog, that's what I'm saying, man. We got all this shit with the government listening and hearing every fucking thing. How this thing just cut on like that? No one asked her where Subway was.
Nearest crackhead for a car wash.
No one asked her where the nearest crackhead was.
0.1 miles.
0.2 miles to the nearest
heading your way
house location, corner of Chippewa
and government.
Well, we was talking about before I got off the before I got so rudely interrupted. Rudely interrupted.
By Alexa.
That shit was real, wasn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't me.
I saw y'all looking around, and I'm like, what the hell is
God?
that?
Yeah, real.
God?
God's a woman.
Is this heaven?
Or is it hell?
With Lizzo?
Not is this hell.
Lizzo,
Hell Satan.
So the quarterback position would be very interesting going in the fall.
No, but you were talking about the ability. It doesn't have to come on Saturday night. It can come on the whiteboard because you have to think about how a coach thinks. Whenever it's, oh shit, he knows. I give him a play. He knows where the hot is.
Some
he
of
knows.
them just do shit and just ask you shit though.
Right.
You know
just
what I
to make
mean?
you do the dog and pony show.
Yeah, just to see that you like study.
Well, I know, but that's important.
Yeah, it is, and that's the opportunity. Because it gives confidence in the coaches that you could go out and do the shit. At least they know you study. At least they know you know what I mean? You in the playbook and you're just not taking it for granted. So that goes a long way. That goes a long way. Listen, dude, like, high school was so easy as far as like our plays. Our plays was, we had such good athletes too. And I had great receivers in high school. So it was easy to throw to those guys. All of them was fast and all that. But dude, as you climb, what the thing that's gonna separate these guys is who's in the playbook, who's studying, who's not bickering with their girlfriends, who's getting sleep. You know what I mean? It's all that type of shit, and it sounds trivial, but those are the things that's gonna come into play. Because when things are so even, and it's gonna be, because all these guys bring different things to different skill sets to the field. It's gonna be those little things. Like, dog, you go through them battles, everything is charted. Did you take the right step here? Did you take the wrong step here? You know what I mean? Did you go to the right side? Did you go to the wrong side? All that shit's gonna come into play with who the hell you affected. What y'all texting about? See how many shit.
Producer to producer.
What y'all got some inside joke thing
Yeah,
going on?
we about to find out. But no, that like you said, they chart everything and they look at everything. And some people find like whiteboard work is trivial, and that's when they find out who is mature enough to handle the position. Jared Mitchell came on this morning. He was off air, and I don't think he would mind sharing this. Whenever it was, they had receivers go out during the Auburn game. When it was 6-3,
10-7.
10-7. The JaMarcus game in 2006.
It might have been 7-3.
Yeah,
10-3.
They didn't put up any points, but some people went out and they were looking for receivers, and they talked to Jared Mitchell. He was a freshman. And he was like, you don't know every position, you don't know every wide receiver position on the field, so we can't put you in. So walk-ons got ahead of him because they knew how to play every position, and we kept the whole playbook open. And he was like, it's not on you. You 5 games into the year. You're not supposed to know every play. And then he was talking about how that kind of evolved into best athlete gets on the field.
Well, I'm going to tell you, this is a saying, the more you can do.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in New England, that was the mantra. Everybody did something. You know what I mean? Like, shit. 1 week, Adam Vinatieri was out. No, not him. Our long kickoff, he was out. Bill had me throw the damn ball.
Oh, at practice?
As the kickoff. You know what I mean? So I had to throw it from where he kicked it off back to the end zone. Just to simulate the kickoff because we did not have a kicker. You know what I mean? And he didn't want Adam
wasting him.
Yeah, hell yeah. So I had to throw it. You
reached the end zone?
Come on, man.
I knew that was a yes.
Come on now. Stop playing. JaMarcus ain't the only one who can slang it.
No doubt.
And so the more you can do, dude, the more you can do. You have damn Slater. You have guys that think they this, think they that. And hey, you might have to go play running back. Troy Brown in New England had to play
DB.
DB running back. Or you had to be a Swiss Army now. So the more you can do, it keeps you in the game, the longevity. I got a son, I tell him all the time, dude, don't think you're too good for special teams. You feel me? You playing the league, play special teams your whole life. You running down 8 damn plays a game.
Collecting a check.
A nice one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just things like that. Nothing, man. Nothing is beneath anybody.
Well, I think LSU instills that in their guys too. Like you see that people want to play special teams. Jarvis Landry wants to run down there. They were all
Michael
competing.
Clayton.
Set the tone.
Shout out to Mike C. I'm coming to see you, baby. Hey, Michael Clayton got a monster quarterback down. We was watching them. Remember we was watching them, Stu, the 8th grader?
Yeah, he could play.
Shout out to Michael Clayton, man. Got a monster 8th grader down there in Orlando. Quarterback, monster. Number 1 in 20. What he is, 2025?
2026.
2026.
Oh, what year are we in?
22, right?
I know, but when does it stop?
It don't. Not with these monsters. I'm going down there to see him, boy.
I remember whenever I was renting Madden, and it was like 1998, and I was like, do you think they're ever going to get to year 2000 on this game? And now we're in 2023.
Hey, listen, dude. I met with, let me tell you some crazy shit was going on. I met with a guy yesterday, right? Shout out to my man, Mike. And they have this is some futuristic shit. They got they're going to say you got the 4-lane highway. They're going to be able to charge your car while you're driving. It's going to, say you got 4 lanes, 1 out the 4 or 3 or 2 out the 4, I don't know, are going to be chargeable lanes.
Like a Hot Wheels.
Smart car, yeah, like that shit's crazy. You just driving on it. It's going to be all across America. You just drive on it, charge your car up, never stop.
It's like when you're in the airport and you got that escalator that kind of helps you walk a little bit.
Wouldn't you like to have something in that, though?
In my feet?
I'm talking about, would you like to put something on that has some stock in that? Have a little.
Yeah, but we don't get that the out on that. That's for that goes to somebody else. Then somebody else, like Elon, gets the first pool on that.
Nah, I don't think that, dog. Like,
I think they have those conversations without us.
we got to get in those conversations.
I know. You got to knock down the door. That's billionaires talking to billionaires. Like, I got a tip on, what I can do.
Lizzo, you're going to be a billion. Well, you might not be a billionaire, but you're going to be a millionaire.
That's right. I just got to wait for my parents to die.
Oh.
Damn. You going to inherit it?
I hope so.
No, you could inherit it and put your own meal on top of it.
All right. Now we talking.
Yeah.
And I'll get my own clothing line like Tom Brady.
Yeah. Ro, you seen this?
You seen your boy packing heat?
Who is that?
This is Tom.
That's your boy Tom.
You ain't seen this yet? He's modeling his own underwear, but look at him. He's modeling something else.
What is it?
It's strong.
The most comfortable underwear ever that never loses its shape. And
You're looking at was he packing heat in the shower?
Approved. Ready to look and feel better in Brady. That's
Look at
the
that
name
thing.
of his shit, Better in Brady.
That is his shit.
TV12 brand.
Drop 12. Well, listen, as long as them bitches don't ride up, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna support my dog now. I'm gonna support my dog Russ down there. Shout out to my boy Russell Gage, man, my dog. I'm gonna have to holler at Russ to holler at him so they can't send us some. You feel me? Y'all pointing out the wrong damn thing. Y'all getting on here with all this gay shit. Don't you
I just know that y'all been in the same locker room. I just want to see if it was
So
true or not.
what?
I just want to see if it was
I
true.
don't remember what his schlong looks like. Come on. That's not even a conversation we're gonna have.
They showed me Tyrann Matthew.
Oh God, that was off air.
Yeah.
His
Packing heat.
Why they showed you his thing?
We didn't show her. We
Man,
told her.
yeah,
They looked it
They
up.
told me, but I looked it up.
Yeah.
She went fine.
Yeah.
Well, she could do that. Why y'all doing that?
Look,
Y'all
I ain't
here
doing
looking up
nothing.
Tom.
I ain't doing
Tom
nothing.
put that on the
Tyrann
internet.
Matthew.
We
This
didn't
how
put
I
that on the internet.
That's a commercial for his underwear. If I'm gonna do a commercial for underwear, I'm gonna model them too.
He looks great.
Tom.
He looks great.
Oh no, now Lizzo, you sound like you
The Deshaun Watson camp.
Yeah. Yeah. You sound like you on that.
On that same spectrum, huh?
Yeah, like you want the back of your rims clean.
Do it for $1. I want the TB12 method.
Hey, nah, I ain't seen that though. But shout out to 12, man. 12 is branching out, dog. Like, he getting ready to get up out
You
of there.
talk about billionaires.
Yeah, that boy ain't playing. He is not. I ain't mad at him, dog. Like, everything that boy has done for the Patriots and the NFL and all that shit. And he got it back with the money and all that. But man, listen, 12 did it for a long time, man, and continue to do it. Everything he has, he definitely earned it. Shout out to him and congratulations to him on the TB12. We got to get some of them.
Absolutely.
Not no white ones though, dog. Them was white, huh?
They gray.
Look great.
Oh, great.
Oh, great. Great sponsor.
Y'all two motherfuckers would know. Y'all
I mean, it was
looking
great.
real closely, dog. You and Stewie, dog. Y'all
Look,
looking real
look.
closely. That was y'all inside joke.
He's told me to show you
That was
that.
y'all fucking inside joke. That's why y'all was over here tweeting and shit to each other. You mother. You see this shit?
Set this man
Y'all
up.
wrong for that, dog.
I had a
Y'all,
feeling.
yeah, you saw.
I had a feeling.
They eye communicating and all that bullshit.
They-
Our route. Our route.
Talking about producer.
Producer to producer.
Oh, yeah, I got the fucking. No, you damn over there. But he told you, hey, pull up 12, pull up Tom's.
Pull up 12 inches. TV
up.
12 inches.
Pull up that TV12.
That howitzer.
Oh God.
They said he had a cannon.
That's crazy.
Cannon.
The cannon.
Man, y'all leave 12 alone, man. Hey, listen. Listen.
He's
Shout
gonna
out
buy the Patriots.
12. Nah. Nah.
Ultimate spite move.
Kraft ain't letting that shit happen. Kraft ain't letting that shit happen. But listen, shout out to 12, man. Shout out to 12 and the TB12 brand. And shit, we need to try to get him on here for like 5 minutes. We can't get him on here long, you know that. Yeah. Well, we probably can't get him on here. We just get him give a shout out to us.
He'll definitely record a little.
That's what I'm saying. We're getting to do that, dog. Like my dog gotta be able to do that now.
Where my dog's at.
That's what I'm saying. That's my dog. He gotta be able to do that. Just quick shout out because we can't get him. We can't afford it.
Because we got Russell in there. We got Lenny in there.
Saying. And I'm going to get down there. And get around and, you know.
Yeah, just get the phone now.
What about Devin White? Got Devin White down there?
True.
They got a bunch of
got a
Tigers.
whole LSU connect down there. We're going to get it. We're going to get it. We're going to get the shout out. That's the goal before football season out. You know what I'm saying? To get 12 with the shout out.
Put that in the intro.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Get Devin White in there. Tyron in
All
there.
the LSU boys.
Mm.
You know, I support that purple and gold.
All right, look, you just relax over there. Look, show
Just
him how you looked at
relax over there.
show him how you were in the computer when you looked at the Tyron Matthew pictures. Couldn't get enough.
She was, hey, wasn't that close? Was the computer that
Bro, look, I'm looking right here.
got pink eye.
You know we got a camera. We got a camera right here that's projecting back here, and I'm watching her and Bree, and they like
Hey.
I saw a mouth open like a.
Hey,
expect
hey, dog. So that's what I'm trying to take. We gonna end after this because I don't even want to get into all this because you know, but it's just like, you know, you have people say money don't matter. They don't have money. You have people say size don't matter. They don't have size.
It ain't going.
It ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work.
Giselle ain't left Tom.
Hey, I'm telling you.
Tyron his wife ain't left Tyron.
Hey, well, I'll tell you, I hear that all the time, dog. They be like, man, I ain't worrying about no money, man. Money don't make everything. Do. And you got it to an extent. You're right. Money don't make anything. Make everything. But it make a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And it make a lot of things happen. And it puts you on a certain wavelength to make you feel a certain type of way. You know what I mean? Like, I know motherfuckers that got money feel better than broke motherfuckers. Right? We all have been broke at some point in our life. I know I have.
Up on the ground.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We all have been fucked up before in some way, shape, form, something. And we all have been straight too. We all have been straight the way we was comfortable, right? The way we was good. Which way felt better?
Comfortable.
Straight.
Which way made you feel like I could poke my chest out? You know what I'm saying? Feeling good about yourself.
We can go out.
Yeah.
We could go get them drinks.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all want shots?
How many push-ups can you do?
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro. So it's the same way. It matters, just like size. I mean, but like you hear some people though. Some women say they, you know. So this is the other thing I hear shit about women.
Not
Women
about
be
the
saying,
size of the dog in the fight. It's about the fight in the dog.
nah, that's a football term. Don't bring that into
the
that.
bedroom.
Why you always do that dumb shit, Stewie? Like you always do that, dog. Like that don't even apply right now. What we talking about?
Sometimes
you
you
know,
fighting the dog.
Oh.
then you get her to
just
agree with you on this
playing.
dumbass shit too. See, that's what I'm saying. You just changed my whole opinion over that, Jake, about you. You fucking agreed to what Stewie just said. The fighting the dog. You know why I say that? Because my high school coach used to say that.
My high school
It
coach
was
just said
saying
that.
on our wall. Don't apply that to this.
Okay, it's more about the motion in the ocean.
That's where I was going. Say that. But this is what I'm saying. Let me know if I'm right or wrong, or if you concur or not. Lizzo, Stu, Jay. It's about the motion in the ocean, right? How can you have motion in the ocean if you don't have nothing to do motion with?
If you don't have a boat in the water.
Yeah.
Like, how? Tell me.
Couldn't relate.
Can't relate. Wouldn't let that shit happen to me though.
Dog, I'm just saying, I hear it all the time, but then I'm gonna tell you though, as I used to hear that the most when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Like as I've gotten older, right, and getting older, I don't like conversations with like my partners that's my age. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are kids, so conversations with now and even like at shit when grown women and shit talking and all that. Nah, grown women, it ain't about no grown men don't want the grown women, they all about that their size matters, okay?
This is true.
Yeah, the grown women, they size matters to them. I know that. For real.
Because they done been through enough.
hey, it ain't about that no damn motion in the ocean or motion potion, whatever the hell.
That was nice, but it ain't for life.
It ain't for life. that's I like that one. Say it again.
That was nice, but it ain't for life.
You ain't lying.
Put it on the vows.
Because if it was nice, it'd be for life. If it was that nice.
It's like having money.
You gotta have money. I don't care nobody say you gotta have some bread, dog. Especially if you got kids, dog.
Stewie?
Son of a bitch. If you got kids, still we got kids?
I
I
got one.
got one son.
Oh, so you know how old your shorty?
4.
See? You just getting started.
Yeah.
Dog, and
Just started flag football
Oh,
on
yeah.
Alabama.
It was
That's
Alabama.
the name of the team?
He's on
Alabama and LSU.
Alabama and LSU. That's the only 2 teams they got for his age group.
And he
And
ended
they
up
put him
on
on
Alabama.
Alabama.
You a proud dad.
But no, he's got Stewie throwing up the L's in the
Yeah,
background.
we gotta throw up the L's. We not gonna just do no Bama shit.
So
Just-
y'all got Bama clothes on?
like the shirt
Shirt.
says with the Alabama and roll.
You took a picture with that?
I mean, I had to. It's my son. I'm not gonna.
You
just,
can't
like-
turn that shit inside out or something.
Oh, yeah, next time. Next pic. Next picture.
See, he don't understand yet about the Alabama.
Well, that's why I'm
LSU
telling you,
rock.
turn
Well,
that son bitch inside
when
out.
I-
He'll understand.
When I told him about it, he was kind of like, "Daddy, like, what you mean? Like, they don't like Alabama?" And I was like,
Shut up, son. Don't
"Yeah,
do that.
we just
Go to your room.
Yeah, just wait for the talks.
Give me that shirt.
Yeah, wait till you get a little bit older and you hear me cursing the TV out.
Motherfucker son look outside. Daddy, why you burning my shirt? My jersey.
So on Wednesday, you on Alabama. On Thursday, you'll be on LSU. We're making a
Hey.
trade.
That's right.
And then LSU's coach is Harry Coleman, former LSU safety.
I know Harry.
Yep.
That's my guy.
Get
Harry.
him on the show.
That's who. Harry's my guy's a good guy. Harry is the coach.
He's
so
the
your
coach
son
for-
could have been coaching by Harry?
Yes.
Boy, you fucked up.
That's the draft. That ain't his fault.
It was a draft?
It was like they
Hey,
just
man.
pick teams.
You don't have no clout?
Now he
You don't have no
does.
clout?
What you mean we don't have no clout?
You don't have no clout? You can't finagle that shit. Get him where you need to get him?
Look, I might have to get on the waiver wire and then do a
Man,
little
get in
tampering.
the portal, dog.
Yeah,
Get in the portal.
yeah, they to the portal.
Portal of one.
But look, I'm not gonna lie. Alabama we've been handling our business. 1-1. The first
so
game,
y'all like the
first,
real Alabama,
first game was a tie.
Oh.
Second
no,
game we
we
got
got
a
9-6.
Hey, look, we got a little kid on our
Y'all
team that
not
got
the
some
real-
moves.
Y'all not the real Alabama. Y'all got a tie.
Look,
9-6. Got to go to overtime.
Y'all LSU.
Michael Ford on the outside.
That's right.
Pitch.
That's right.
Step out of bounds. Make Alaman do it.
So what do you do if your kid comes home and he just like, Dad, I just hate LSU. I love Alabama.
You gotta kill him.
Sacrifice.
Just kidding. I was just kidding.
Outrageous.
What?
All right,
I
that's
was
crazy.
just kidding. It was just a joke. Just a joke. Just a joke. Sorry.
No,
It came out too good.
It was just a joke.
Look at
Blink twice if you're okay.
Kill him.
I was playing. It was a joke.
But I would be hurt if he was like as he got older.
If
you
he
know,
had
he stayed in sports.
He
was
said
getting
he'd be
recruited, and he was like, "Daddy, like I really like LSU. It was cool. Like you went to LSU.
I grew up here.
I grew up here, but I want to go to Alabama. Like
What you'd be Landon Collins'
Crush
I
mom.
would be
your
Landon
ass,
Collins' mom.
dog.
Like literally,
Hey, dog, you would be so crushed.
I'm walking out the signing day like it's over. Like
Yeah.
let's pack it up, ESPN.
Best of luck.
Yep. Good luck. No games.
So crushed, dog.
It will pick the right one.
You would be so crushed, dog.
So crushed.
Hey, let me say, I know how you feel. Well, I don't know how you feel from that standpoint.
You will
But,
in
like,
about 2 years.
Why?
Your son gonna be top dog.
Dog, but look, my oldest daughter, right? She just got accepted in the LSU law school, right? I know, dog.
That's big time.
Yeah, look at that.
I know.
A-Bear Center.
But look, you know how excited I am that she's coming to LSU law
Yeah.
school? Like, she could have went to fucking Texas somewhere and, like, Florida somewhere and, like, all these couple of places. But, dog, so I know what you mean when you say, like, you know what I mean? You want them to come, you know what I'm saying, to see your shit, to fall in line with yours, you know what I'm saying? Because I told you, dog, I'm talking about, dog, I was screaming when she sent me that thing and told me she got accepted and all this bullshit. Dog, I was like over the moon that she chose it because she could have went anywhere. You know what I mean? So I know what you mean, Stu. Because I'd have been disappointed. She'd have been like, yeah, Daddy, I got LSU, I got this, I got that, but I'm going over here to Texas some fucking way. I'd have been like, okay, love you, baby. And got off the phone. Son of a bitch, that ain't my daughter.
I'm happy for you, but I'm
Who
not.
brainwash her?
I'm happy, but I'm not proud.
Right. Right. You know what I mean? So I get you, bro, but you just gotta raise them up right, dog. And raising them up right means
Keeping Nick Saban out their
they
ear.
when you gotta understand, Stu, and I know we about to go, but I gotta leave you with this, dog. You gotta nip it in the bud early, dog. You can't just be like, oh, I'm not gonna slap the head off of him because he's too young. He's not gonna understand. I'm not gonna burn his shirt and burn everything crimson because
He's impressionable right now.
It might traumatize him for his entire life. I'm not gonna just sit him in front of the TV for hours on end and just drill him with Rohan's highlights.
JaMarcus Russell highlights.
No, I didn't say that. I said my highlights. J-Rock too. No, I'm just playing. You gotta get to him early, dog. Like for real. I see all these people. Dog, I met a lady. This lady told me she brought her newborn baby to the LSU football game, dog. Like, I don't think that baby was like 2 weeks old, dog. And that baby was at an LSU football game. So
That's my little man right there, front of LSU.
I can't even see him. The camera's in the way.
Oh, well.
You got to slide that thing
Move
into
it up.
position.
Hold up. I got you.
You don't got your see-through shoes on today, man. Slide.
Hold on.
He look like he got some curly hair.
He does. He's a good-looking boy.
I can't see him.
I'm gonna keep
He's
you.
looking.
Put him back up there.
Hold up, I'm trying to move him around so we could get a good view of him.
Let me see if he look like you, dog. Or he belong to the mailman.
He's got the eyebrows of Stewie.
He might belong to the mailman. That
The milkman.
the milkman. That little boy look like he is from Cuban descent.
Little light.
A little light, ain't it? A little light. I still can't see, man. You gotta
You got
move
the
that
camera
camera,
in the
dog.
way.
Move that camera. Let me see Jit. He got on some J's. You got him in them J's.
He's got a little J's.
Or at
Champion
least
tee?
you're not selfish and just hooking yourself up. Oh no,
Uh-oh.
Stewie. I don't
Mailman.
know, dog.
Mailman.
Oh no, Stu. It look
COVID
like-
year.
What was that boy that played basketball for the New York Knicks?
Sebastian Telfair.
No, hell no. He was from China or somewhere.
Jeremy
He's talking about
Lin.
Jeremy
Yeah, man, that look like little Jeremy Lin.
Bro.
Yeah, I need a check.
Yeah, for real.
That's insane.
I do need to check.
Nigga, Stu told us from Jeremy Lee knew exactly who I was talking about. Oh, Lord.
Went to New York one time with the lady.
Man, where my chopstick at, man? Look like I had them powdered donuts just now.
You say that every week.
What? I
powdered
do,
donuts.
dog. I be getting them powdered donuts. I be having to keep that chapstick on me, but I don't have it this week.
It might be stuck in the.
Should be falling on the side like at the house
Yeah.
on the cushion.
I'm the king of losing the remote.
You put your hand down this cushion, you find about $50.
50 J's.
Especially with Jordy, dog. Everything fall out Jordy.
You'll find 2 sets of keys. Key to the safety deposit box.
Dog. So let me ask y'all this, and we're gonna wrap this up. If you just based on everything you've been listening to, so don't be acting like you can't have an opinion. You don't be wanting to tell us about what you think about these quarterbacks, but you be knowing all that shit.
And she was at every spring practice. I
know,
will tell you,
dog,
she was at every spring
and
practice.
then she just be sitting over there, not saying, just sitting on it, dog. Like, we want to know who you think on. Start with you, Stu. Who you think got it? What the hell your headset's off for? What is going on with
I
you?
was going to move the camera back.
Oh, don't worry
You
about
said
that.
one hit.
See what I mean?
Hey, I've been there.
Chill out. Well, as far as quarterback goes with LSU, I think Nussmeier really has the best. Like, he at every spring practice, he had control of the offense, commanded the offense. He was the guy that was like, after every rep, if he completed or incomplete, he was going to his receiver to see what was, what he saw, what the quarterback saw from his perspective, what the receiver saw, like what the defense was showing him, everything. And then like in the spring game, they started slow, And you could see in the second half, he came out and went straight to the offensive line and said, like, let's go. Like, let's get this going now. Let's start fast. Let's go score a touchdown. And that's what they did. They came out and scored a touchdown. So, Nussmeier is my guy.
Got you. What you got, Jay?
I'm not gonna
Give
lie.
me. I want the whole synopsis.
Okay,
I want the synopsis from what you observed in spring, from what you saw, from what you heard, and from what you think.
From what I saw and from what I heard, I definitely probably say Nuss too, because I think the chemistry is just there and the talent is there. So I think that's what I'd go with.
See, I agree with both of them, but what I'm going to say is probably not popular. It's going to be down to either Miles Brennan or Jaden Daniels, just because if you keep one of them, let them play the first game, you have them on the hook for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. And I think the most important thing, whether Brian Kelly likes it or not, is to protect your most valuable asset, which is Walker Howard. Mm-hmm. And so if you make the decision to start Nussmeier, you're losing one or both of them. Because I believe Jaden Daniels can hop in the portal again, if I'm not mistaken, because he was he can use a graduate transfer, and then he can use the portal to get back in. And so you have the ability to lose both of them, and then you're stuck with Nussmeier, and then who's your backup?
Yeah,
your most prized asset in Walker Howard. You don't want him playing this year, getting thrown into fire that early. So I think you protect, and you feel like you can win at least the Florida State game. Brian Kelly's already played them last year at Notre Dame in the first game. They won by the skin of their teeth, but Mike Norvell's already on the hot seat. He's going in there, and he's kind of going in there back against the wall. Brian Kelly's going in there a little bit more confidence, I would imagine. Have a game plan because you've already seen him play. I can win with whoever I throw out there. Skate through. Let's see what happens. Like, let's get some reps against Southern, see if we get any better. If not, Mississippi State's next, and if it's Nussmeier, it's Nussmeier. We found that out in the next week.
It's a tough battle.
Absolutely.
It's so much talent. It's a tough battle.
Is that you can win with all three of them, but it sucks that LSU keeps doing this to themselves. We're having and I love the first week competitive game. I do. But LSU has been behind the eight ball almost every first week.
This is almost like you would rather this shit flip this year.
Yeah, I would rather play Southern first. Mm-hmm. And then you could play all three.
Right.
And then kind of get a feel of just how the offense, and that's what I talked about when I talked about the spring game. He said it made it harder because it was harder to get a read for who looked the best. Nobody really stood out, and they didn't think, they was hoping that Miles Brennan would either take the whole thing and run with it, or Jade would take it and run with it. But it was actually Nussmeier that looked the best, and so now it became a 3-horse race as opposed to I got one or two to pick from.
Well, I'm on the...
But I think Nuss is the most talented and he can run the offense the best. But in terms of running the program and what you have to do to protect it from a coach's standpoint and protect he has a 10-year deal, to protect your future, you almost sacrifice one game to be able to get down the line a little bit.
It's not about this year. That's one thing you need to know for LSU fans and for these kids in the program. It's not about this year. And I say that because when you have a coach that's coming in to change the it's not the players he's coming to change. He's coming to restore order to that floor. That's part of why Brian Kelly is there. That's part of that's part of why everyone on that floor was fired, besides Miss Yael. You never have secretaries that they're also dismissed. They were. I think because they wanted to get away from that whole title issue and what was going on there with that regime. So now you have these guys, Coach Kelly, and coming in. So they're there to restore order to that top floor. But part of that restoring that order to the top floor is now everything's new. Now they're used to making the rules at Notre Dame within that conference. So now you have to come down here and you have to learn the rules. You have to learn the rules. You have to learn the recruiting. You have to learn recruiting these guys down here is different, even if you were recruiting them at Notre Dame, because now you're recruiting them down here in this situation in the South, where now you're down in the South. You're not running back up there to Indiana.
Independent.
Right? Independent, correct. Where you had, 8, 9 home games a year, all that. So it's different. Those, like, even as small as meal plans and meal preps that seem so minuscule, it's things that this staff is dealing with. And it's things that they're going to continue to deal with until they get it down. And down don't mean you get it down now and then go into the season and we got it together. Down mean you need this year and as well as next year to get this thing down, and need a couple years to get your recruits, or to recruit even how you intend to recruit, to get them in there. So even though you pointed out earlier with the offensive line and having a bunch of young guys running around, you're going to take your hits this year. You're right. You're going to take your hits this year. You don't want Walker Howard taking those hits. You want it to be the 2 old guys taking the hits. So I'm on board with you, Lizzo, to the extent of, yes, you want an older guy to start. And if you have to go and bridge to Nussmeier after week 1 and week 2, but now you're locked in and you have that insurance policy, because it's seldom you go through 3. You can, but it's seldom you go through 3.
It's not good.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but you can. So for them, and also you got to look at this, having this 10-year deal, which ensures you at least no pressure on you for after the first 2, in my opinion. Scott's basically handed over everything literally to Brian Kelly and saying, I'm all in with you. It's all on you. Do what you've been doing at Notre Dame as far as like the structure, but with the caliber of athletes that you can recruit now because you're at LSU, with the facilities that we have here, that Notre Dame can't even,
touch.
Look exactly. Now I expect you to go beyond what you did at Notre Dame, and you're coming to a system where we had 3 head coaches, 3 national championships, 3 different coaches. You need to be the 4th one. So I don't think Brian Kelly's going to get much pressure in the first 2 years. I honestly don't, because of the big contract, because of the big money, because of everything that Scott and those guys have turned over to him, that they've shown him. But I think going to year 3, if we're not on the cusp with him having, and this is also contingent on recruiting, and our NIL situation isn't getting any better, slower.
The recruiting is what makes me nervous, because you talk about coming down here and winning with Louisiana caliber athletes. He hasn't proven to be going to Louisiana yet. He's getting beat to the punch already by, guess who? Big Bad Wolf over at Alabama. He's taken how many guys from you already from last recruiting class? And then this year he's pilfering the state again. You got 10 blue chip guys and you're hoping to get 3.
Gone.
You're hoping to get 3.
That's a problem, man.
And it's been 2 cycles in a row, you're cooked.
Well, and then now
you're going to see Shaz Preston eat you up. You're going to see Aaron Anderson eat you up.
Then you got to worry about A&M.
You're going to see Derek Williams eat you up. Side. Yeah. And you got to in Texas, A&M, going to eat you up.
You know about the
and guess where they're all coming into? Louisiana, ripping the state apart. And Brian Kelly, he's always recruited nationally. He's never had to focus on a home state.
Well, that's why that's why I said coming down here to the South is different. You know what I mean? If you're in Florida, you don't have to go too much out of Florida.
But you got to compete with other schools.
Well, you got to go in and get the top guys out of those states. Here, you got to keep the Shaz Prestons. You got to keep the guys that are going to go that you know you're going to see. They're going to tear your ass apart. The Landon Collins that went away. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to keep these guys here because you're going to see them again. Because 9 times out of 10 when they leave, they're not going too far. They're going to A&M, they're going to Bama. You're going to see them.
Every year.
Oh, man.
I just hope he understands the importance of what Louisiana is and the talent that's here.
Well, so far we're not doing a great job of recruiting the state. So far we haven't done a great job of keeping the big time guys interested in here. I don't know if we're falling, it can't be because we can't just be expecting these guys to say it's LSU, I'm staying there, because it's not that anymore. It's not like that right now to say we're the big dogs on top, just come here because we're LSU. That hasn't been proven in a while. Not saying we aren't competing and we ain't doing that, but we haven't won anything significant to stand on to say we're such as the Alabama or these these teams that have won the national championship over the last few years. We haven't done that. So the 29, and this is the other thing with it. Like I think the 2019 championship, as great, stellar, remarkable season as it was for us, we also know that was a magical season. You know what I mean? Like that's something that shit shine on you once in
Once.
Right.
It's like a solar eclipse.
And so it's almost like the sustainability. That's what we always talk about. Consistency and being able to sustain. And that's where if you take that out to me, we need to get back to that. To where I want to get back to where we're competing, where it's not just you go into the season hoping to win 8. You know what I mean? Hoping to win 9. You know you're a viable contender for that chip. And I hope Brian Kelly is the guy that could do that to get us back to that position. That's what the hell we hired him for. That's what I know he came down here for after being at Notre Dame for 12 seasons and never winning the championship and losing to SEC teams in the playoffs, and now having an opportunity to come down here and face these teams that he's lost to. I know he takes it on as a conquest and takes it on as a challenge. And I hope this ain't one of them challenges that's too much for him to bite off, because it's a hell of a challenge now. And we're not off to a fast start with it, in my opinion. But
you got to give him time.
Got to give him time, and there's still a lot. We haven't gotten to the season yet. I wasn't too. Spring was what spring is for me, just operational football. Guys making, spring is spring. Going into the fall, we'll see what the concentration is. And then, we're going to be in New Orleans, right, before you know it. And we'll see what's going on there with Florida State when they come in. And that's going to be, if you couldn't, you couldn't ask for, you could, but you couldn't ask for a better
home game.
Post game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's like UCLA last year.
Not a barn burn, not somebody that should smash us, not somebody that, you know what I mean? It's not like we're playing Alabama or we're playing Ohio State. This is a team that's trying to come back themselves, Florida State. Norvell, like he's all fucked up over there. And so they're trying to do some things there and trying to get that program back to where it needs to be. I'm going to be talking a lot of shit with a lot of people from Florida with this game when we get close to Florida State. A bunch of partners that Florida State fans. I actually grew up a Florida State fan myself. But it's going to be a great post game to see where we are. Right out the gate, as far as like how we're going to compete, where we stack up with the line. How does the line look? How does the secondary? Most importantly, how the hell does the quarterbacks look? Because we ain't seen Brennan in a minute. I ain't never seen Daniels. You know what I mean? And Nuss. Hopefully we won't even see him, but hopefully we will. Who knows?
That's where we at.
Who knows? Start one of them old cats, and then hell, just like you pointed out, Nuss might just take that thing over and run with it. But you still have that backup, that fallback though. You still have that fallback, and you already know, Liz. You pointed it out. Them coaches ain't stupid, bro. They're not stupid. They know where the pitfalls are during the season and where the pitfalls are within the quarterback battle. And they know they can't have Garrett Nussmeier as the starter and possibly have 2 guys leave. Now, I don't know if Miles could go back in the transfer portal. Can he go back in the portal, Miles Brennan? I don't know if he can go back in, but that's a problem.
I think if Jaden transfers again, he would have to sit out.
Jaden Daniels
he would have to sit out a year.
What about Miles?
I don't
Can Miles?
I don't know if you enter the portal and go back to your same team if it counts. But I don't know. That's just me speculating. And I don't know about Jaden because I think he could burn his. Doesn't he have a graduate transfer still.
Yeah, he's a graduate transfer.
Or I could be wrong. I really don't know, but I feel like I've read that somewhere. I'm just speculating because I don't know the actual. I haven't looked at it in a minute, but it feels like he both of those being able to leave is an option, especially if you name Nussmeier the guy. I would go sit out a year.
Right. Well, to say the least, it's going to be an interesting battle, my dude. We're going to see who get that chemistry the quickest, man.
And we're going to learn through the fall.
And who get these guys behind them. And see, it's going to be very interesting, though. Whoever the hell gets that position going into that first game against Florida State, it's going to go a long way in just the trajectory of LSU football, you know what I mean, for the remainder of the season, whether or not they hold on to that spot and everything that we talking about now as far as like the decision-making from the coaches and shit, we're going to see it in the first game.
And you don't want to lose game one again.
Hell no.
You saw what happened. I don't know if BK's ready for that because his expectations are different than the fans.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I don't think
hell yeah.
Notre Dame ain't the pressure cooker Baton Rouge is.
They have no idea.
No idea.
Don't have a fucking clue yet.
Mm-mm.
They don't have no idea, dog, what that shit means. You're going to find out real early you drop that first one, though. Especially if you drop it in a manner that's not LSU. You know what I mean? Whether it's effort, whether it's slop. And you got to expect some of that coming out. Nerves, false, things of that nature. But you just want to see a clean operation, man. You want to see that shit is being communicated and people and guys understand. People understand the guys so it's gonna be interesting, dude. But listen, I'm with you, Liz. I'm gonna give him grace and I'm gonna give him time, and I'm looking forward to the first game. We're gonna be there. I'm looking forward to the first game, man. Looking forward to the first game. And look, we're gonna wrap this thing up for me, Jay, Wiz. Yo. Join us next week, man. Well, I'm going to have my dog on here. I can say it now. We're going to have the boy Josh Reed on here next week and get a chance to chop it up with him and see what's going on with him. One of my good friends. One of them gangsters at the receiving corps. We're going to see you next week.
That's a dog you got coming on.
That's a dog.
That's right? A dog.
That's a fucking dog. I ain't lying.
Alabama?
Woo! We're gonna highlight him all Alabama, dog.
How many did he go for?
Like 280.
With a fumble.
He should have had like
300.
Yeah, he should have had 3 something. They poked it out from his back.
He was
scoring.
scoring.
Hell yeah, he was scoring. That shit was crazy.
Exciting.